The air is screaming with raw, invisible energy, the calm before the wipeout. A once majestic castle stands, scarred against a hellscape sky, a jagged monument to a brutal war. The atmosphere isn't just vibrating, it's shaking with the aftershocks of total chaos. On ground turned to sludge by blood, soldiers are scrapping for their lives in a zero-sum game. Their moves are a blur of steel and adrenaline. But one guy, he's owning the battlefield standing tall, in the meat grinder his blade, slick with the red testament of his kills. His face is locked in zero-hour focus, a warrior forged in the heat of combat. The sword isn't just sharp, it hums, channeling the fighter's sheer willpower like a live wire. A golden aura snaps around the weapon, a promise of lethal speed. Clang, steel, kisses steel, in a blinding flash the impact, ripping through the ruined landscape. His eyes narrow, locking onto the target dead ahead. Pure predator mode. A mana spike ignites inside him, eyes glowing with an eerie supernatural light. He's winding up to go 100%, but then crimson static explodes around a shadowy figure, eyes burning with a sinister red glare. A blade glints in the dark, catching the orange flicker of invisible fire. The hero's face is bathed in gold, looking dead serious. Amidst the madness, enter the Ragnar clan, the Empire's northern shield, a fortress looming over the continent's edge like a titan against the snowy peaks. How did the Ragnar clan hold the line as the North's iron wall for over 1,000 years? We see a lone silhouette perched on a snowy cliff overlooking a graveyard of war gear. It's all in the DNA. The aftermath is brutal. Bodies scattered across the permafrost. A bloody edge drips, crimson onto the white snow, proof of the savage fights they've survived. Blood droplets hang in the air, reflecting a dark red glow. Rumor has it, these guys bleed dragon. A beast rises from the dark, eyes blazing with ancient rage. If you're a Ragnar, you're born with the cheat code's insane magic. Infinite stamina and sword skills that feel like breathing. The power surge is visible proof of their gifts. Honed to perfection, the blade becomes a second skin. Everyone but me. A battered, bloody figure struggles to get up. The red streaks tell a tragic story of a total loss. Give it up already. Some walls you just can't punch through, no matter how hard you grind. They call it being talentless, which is basically a crime when your last name is Ragnar. An old man watches his face screaming silent disappointment. A fist tightens till the knuckles turn white. Young Master Theo looks crushed. Rendon, seriously, you. Rendon Harvey's voice is pure venom. You know, watching you sweat every morning with zero talent. It was pathetic, honestly. He twists the knife. Like hard work was ever gonna save a loser like you. Close up on that smug, punchable face. Shadow Boy stands there, mask hiding his expression. The guy continues. You should have stayed invisible. That weak attack was a joke. Watching you try to be a hero. Theo's losing it. No, Rendon steel flashes catching the harsh light. Rendon snaps back resentful. And teaching you those garbage moves, all just to sell out the Rose Palace. Someone screams the palace. A voice booms with rage. To those scum, Rendon Harvey squares up against young Master Theo in a ring of fire. Their blades crash in a shower of sparks. Then a sickening scream. It's over, Theo. Rendon Harvey, looking grim, asks, why the hate, young Master Theo? The sword drives down fast, brutal final. Theo, the voice accuses. This is on you, don't you get it, Theo? Rendon Harvey looms over the bleeding young master. His face is cold, totally unbothered. Theo, Rendon repeats, a touch of mockery in his tone. Why look at me like that, young master? A command barks out, look. This is your fault, Theo. The Rose Palace is toast, eaten alive by the flames. A desperate plea rings out through the wreckage. Why is your family dying? The Rose Palace burns its skeletal remains, reaching up into the smoke-choked sky. The traitor in black walks away from the massacre, leaving the long-haired warrior broken in the debris. The hooded figure keeps walking back, turned to the fallen hero. A voice echoes a rhetorical question hanging in the smoke. Cold, lifeless, just a heap of meat on the floor. The fallen figure's face is a bloody mask, completely unreadable. A voice cuts through the silence. Why, your mother? The camera zooms in tight on that blood-soaked face. Ashes drift in the wind, eyes shut tight. The voice drips with venom, because you were a worthless piece of. A hooded shadow towers over the fallen warrior Ragnar. It's over. Ragnar is already done for, completely wrecked amidst the ruins of the Rose Palace. Zoom in. Ragnar's bloodshot eyes snap open, staring at nothing. In a clan where might makes right, he's just a bloody mess. Ragnar's face is caked in gore, pure shock plastered on his face. Then the final insult lands like a slap. You were the weakest link, Crash. Steel screams against steel. The battle is absolute chaos. Rendon's face is a grime-covered nightmare. The sound of metal grinding on metal fills the air. A desperate scream shreds the silence. Rendon lunges his blade, nothing but a lethal blur. The steel glints cold and deadly. Slick, it tears through flesh. A gut-wrenching scream. Through the chaos, someone's muttering apologies. A voice slices through the noise. You talk too much. Someone begs for it to end. Just one. Rendon, bleeding out and looking like hell, whispers. Just. For old time's sake. The final words hang heavy. I'm almost done. Wait, is this it? Is this seriously how it ends? He protected nothing. Achieved zero. Just watched his whole world burn to ash. Is this the curtain call? Talent. If only he wasn't so talentless. Maybe things would have been different. You died. Boom. A cascade of blue light floods the screen. System alert pops up. Theo Ragnar's trait activated. Returning to checkpoint. The blue light just keeps pouring down. Down, down, down it goes. It's endless. Suddenly a blurry shape snaps into focus. It sharpens. A figure emerges. Crimson eyes staring right through you. He looks up at the sky, total confusion written on his face. Rendon Harvey speaks up. You look beat. Good. He nods. All right, let's wrap up today's lesson. Theo whips around, eyes wide. He's back in the arena with Rendon, flags snapping in the wind. Theo's mind races. What the? The world glitches. System window pops up again. Wait, didn't I just die? Is this the whole life flashing before your eyes? Bit? Rendon's voice echoes from the past, young master. Theo focuses on Rendon's face. A very punchable face. He sighs, staring at the invisible screen, the system guiding his fate like a cruel puppet master. Even now, Rendon stands there confused. But the screen is crystal clear. Objective punch Rendon in the face. Theo stares at the tutorial. What the hell? Is this how death flashbacks work now? Rendon clearly can't see the screen. Something wrong, he asks. Theo reaches for the fallen wooden sword, his fingers gripping the smooth wood. Rendon watches the panic on his student's face. I have no clue what's happening, Theo mutters. Maybe it's a parting gift from God. Knuckles white on the hilt, Theo coils his muscles. One last chance to vent before I croak. His eyes flare up with supernatural intensity. Theo screams, dream or not, I'm gonna beat your ass. Rendon's eyes go wide. Swoosh, Theo swings. Crack, direct hit. Rendon grunts in pain. A twisted grin spreads across Theo's face. Rendon stumbles back. Theo frowns. Why does this dream feel so real if my punch is this weak? He doesn't stop. Swing blur. He follows up with a savage kick. Bam! Rendon goes flying and hits the dirt. I said class was dismissed. Rendon groans, struggling to sit up cross-legged. Sweat trickles down his forehead. Wait, do you feel pain in dreams? Rendon sighs heavily, radiating pure disappointment. The instructor's voice is thick with frustration. He gets it. Theo is stressed. The awakening ceremony is right around the corner, and Theo has made zero progress. None. Theo's crimson eyes narrow, defiant. But Rendon can't let this slide. Rendon locks eyes with him. What kind of student attacks their master? He clicks his tongue. Tisk. You're a Ragnar. You use a sword, not your fists. Theo turns away, face blank. See you next class. In the background, other students whisper. What is going on? One kid snickers. What a moron. Why take it out on the master when he's the talentless loser? Two students exchange a look, clearly enjoying the show. The gossip spreads. Is he really a Ragnar? The guy's totally incompetent. Theo's face turns to stone, rage boiling behind those eyes. Even for a bastard son. All that effort. For this, a voice screams inside his head, drowning out everything else. Theo is drenched in cold sweat, gasping for air. No way. The pain is searing, visceral, absolutely real. It's too hyper-realistic. He stares at his hands caked in something dark and gritty. Ash. This isn't a flashback. Rain lashes against a destroyed world. This is happening right now. But the awakening ceremony isn't for another 10 years. Wait, I'm back, 17 years old. Suddenly, a holographic screen glitches into existence right in front of him. Congratulations. Tutorial complete. The glowing text hovers there, mission 1 accomplished. Ping. New notification. Reward unlocked Ragnar's talent. His eye flares with blinding intensity. What does that even mean? The system prompts, accept reward. He reaches out, fingers hovering over the yes button. Click. He hits it. Boom, pure energy slams into him, flooding his veins with raw power. It's barely containable. The system pings confirmation, reward received. He's practically glowing. Power radiates from his very core. Another pop-up flashes. All your stats will now increase at tremendous speed. The world warps around him. Flash of white light. A confused voice cuts through the noise. What the hell is going on? Cut to the rose, palace towering against the sky. Clink. A teacup settles on a saucer. I see a smooth voice muses. Honestly, never seen a kid with zero talent like him. It's Rendon Harvey, Theo's fencing tutor. Harvey sits there, fingers steepled, looking professional. But that's exactly why I'm here. The real Professor Rendon. I'll give him my best training. He chuckles darkly. I'll get him ready for the awakening ceremony. In 5 months, he'll be unrecognizable. A woman sighs, trusting. I'm leaving him in your hands, Rendon. Lady of the Rose Palace, Cecilia Ragnar, sits opposite him. Please, she implores. Just give him a little more. Hands exchange a heavy bag. Of course, Rendon lies smoothly. Day and night training. Don't you worry. I'm not worried. She totally believes in her son. Cut to Teo storming down the hallway. Thinking worry. Yeah, right. He knows the training is bogus, but it's not like he has any natural talent anyway. Concubine's kid. Like mother, like son, Rendon sneers internally. Trash bloodline going nowhere. But the Ragnar name will be mine. He smirks. Getting paid a fortune to do absolutely nothing. Easy money. Plus, the prestige of being a Ragnar tutor. All while leaking intel on the brat and sabotaging his growth. My future is set. Just gotta deal with this idiot. Teo stomps down the hall. Humph. He clenches his fist, lip curling in a snarl. Moron Teo breaks into a run boots, pounding the stone. Rendon watches him go, weighing the coin pouch in his hand. Remington Narsil sighs. Seriously, Teo's mind screams at himself, loser. He keeps sprinting, desperate to escape. Back in the warm glow of the room, Cecilia sits with Remington. She gazes out, worry etched on her face. My son. She watches his retreating back. Training must be so hard on you. Suddenly, Teo bursts in and she pulls him into a hug, eyes filled with concern. She holds him tight. Teo baby, why are you? Tears start streaming. Teo sobs, clinging to his mom, like his life depends on it. It worked. I really made it back. Visual match cut 10 years ago. Younger Teo safe in his mother's arms. Flash of the future, a desolate battlefield, piles of corpses, Teo standing tall, sword dripping crimson. Zoom in, blood-soaked face. Eyes shut, tight exhaustion, death. Another face stares blankly, staring into the void war trauma carved into every feature. And then there's Teo, caked in filth and gore, cracking a twisted faint smile. Snap back to reality, the warm hug, a silent vow of protection. Cecilia looks down at him, expression soft, a gentle smile on her lips. Watching her son. She stands there unreadable. I have to change the future, Teo swears internally. I'm weak right now. I have nothing. His eyes narrow sharply. But if that system window is real, a blinding light erupts from his chest, power surging through him. The thought echoes, I can get stronger. He recalls the future he left behind, sitting on a throne built of corpses. He thinks of Cecilia, his only comfort in that living hell. His face hardens. Pure determination ignites in his eyes. Meanwhile, somewhere else, Remington is humming a happy little tune. Totally zoning out the internal chaos, Theo locks onto a single goal, gets swole enough to absolutely wreck Rendon. That thirst for payback is blazing like a bonfire, but let's be real, his current noodle arms aren't doing squat. Time to embrace the grind. He pushes past the pain brain, flashing back to his past life as a corporate drone. Back then, he was just a pencil pusher in the intel squad, barely dipping his toes in the real action. Sidelined for having zero talent, he never thought that intel would be his golden ticket, like knowing exactly which potion jacks up your stats. Specifically, the Blood Sword Emperor's Elixir. Those dusty old books are about to pay serious dividends. And the Holy Grail, the secret manual. He's going absolute beast mode, pushing a workout routine that would kill a normal dude. Stuff he quit before, cause he was talentless. Now, the training grounds are glowing under that epic morning sun. He charges forward, face set like stone. Why? Because now he's rocking that legendary Ragnar DNA. The system window isn't a glitch, it's real life. How many laps is that? Since when did he have this kind of stamina? He's sprinting until his lungs burn. Then whoosh, he swings that weapon hard enough to kick up a dust storm. Swing after swing, dumping everything into it. The blade slices the air with a terrifying hiss. He's leveling up. It hits him. I can actually do this. No more Mr. Weakling. He's becoming a powerhouse. Ding system notification pops up. Tutorial quest number 2, wreck your body until you hit the limit. Progress at 65%. Cut to a few days later, wide shot of the training grounds. Enter Evelyn Nareville, manager of Ground 4. She yawns, looking bored out of her mind, smoke drifting from her lips. She puffs a cloud into the air, cigarette dangling. She's thinking about the so-called idiot of Ragnar. Heavy silence, her eyes narrow, sharp as knives. Is this kid actually a scrub, or is everyone wrong? Meanwhile, Theo's over there, grinding his teeth to dust, swinging that wooden sword like his life depends on it. He feels like he's gonna keel over. The quest demands total exhaustion. Current status, 97%. The sword is just a blur now. He's digging deep, scraping the bottom of the barrel for energy. Flashback to last night. He collapsed, gasping for air. Progress was at 90%. Then, it dropped. Wait, what? Since when does resting delete your XP? Punishment for taking a break. Theo stands up, and suddenly his eyes flare with a demonic red glow. Oh, it is on. Crimson lightning starts crackling around him as he forces his body past the breaking point. Now he's ticked off. He swears he won't stop until he drops. System updates 98%. He lunges the air, literally warping around his movement. Inner monologue, almost. There. Muscles screaming, tension spiking. The counter ticks up. 99%. Teeth grinding hard enough to crack. Just one more inch. He pushes until his lungs basically shut down. A pink-haired figure watches from the sidelines, looking legit worried. The counter is stuck at 99. His eyes are glowing like brake lights now. This is it, total limit break. Ding status completed. 100%. Intense red glow fades as tears of sheer agony well up. Congratulations, player, the system chirps. Tutorial quest number 2, crushed it. He stares ahead, looking grim but satisfied. Time for the loot drop. Reward, the Dragon Heart. Bonus, 10 years of mana mastery from his past life. Theo faceplants onto the cold stone floor. The cold stone feels amazing on his back as he blacks out. System asks, accept rewards now. His face is twisted in pain, breathing jagged. Through burning red eyes, he stares at the floating blue screen, sweat dripping. His finger shakes like a leaf as he taps yes. Receiving rewards. The air gets heavy. Something big is happening. His face contorts in a silent scream. Cut to black. Fade in. He's submerged in a recovery pool, still grimy from training. Evelyn's chilling in a similar pool nearby, face unreadable. Through the window you can see the sky. Just a peek of the outside world. Theo blinks open his eyes, lying on his side. He sits up, brain foggy. Is this? He trails off. Evelyn is standing right there at the training ground entrance. Even a Ragnar drops if you push that hard, she quips. Remember me, kid. I'm Evelyn Narival, boss of Training Ground 4. You totally passed out while. Caught him grinding solo at the crack of dawn, so I hauled him in. Theo blows a thin stream of smoke from the slender pipe between his lips, face like a stone wall. The dark-haired figure opposite him watches, crimson eyes glowing in the gloom. I see, he mutters. Theo gives a sharp, quick nod. Thanks. A gloved hand slides a steaming mug onto the table. But young master, the voice trails off. The dark-haired man grips his cup, gaze locked on. You're aware that unlocking your mana hall within the Ragnar clan before the awakening ceremony is strictly off-limits, right? Yeah, good, Theo replies, cool as ice. Sure. Then you surely know the price for breaking that rule. The man takes a slow sip, red eyes drilling into Theo. Theo's jaw tightens. Right before you passed out, a disembodied voice breaks in. We detected a massive mana surge, consistent with a mana hall breach. The dark-haired man's crimson eyes squint dangerous. The air gets heavy, suffocating. A voice echoes, dripping with suspicion. Did you, perhaps, force your mana hall open? A tall figure with crimson hair looms over Theo's shadow, stretching long. The question just hangs there heavy. Young Master Theo Ragnar. Theo freezes mug halfway to his mouth, poker face on. He snaps back. What's that supposed to mean, my mana hall? If I'd tried that, I'd be a corpse right now. Suddenly raw. Energy explodes around him. Boom. The world melts into a swirling vortex of light and shadow. Theo freefalls, eyes popping out of his skull. A holographic system window pings bonus reward for speedrun acquired. 10 years worth of past life magic power. He hits the deck hard, sprawled out, gasping for air. Holy. His face twists, half shock, half creeping terror. A single tear tracks down his cheek as the reality hits him like a truck. He looks totally floored. A thought bubble pops up. Dragon heart, wait, a dragon heart. Can you really stash a mana hall inside a dragon's heart? Planting one there makes the whole system run on turbo. But humans, since we aren't dragons, usually stick them in the lower abdomen. Crack. A mental barrier shatters. Human hearts can't handle a mana hall, which is exactly why every warrior, Ragnar included, thirsts for a dragon heart. Everyone wants the cheat code. It's the fast track to god-tier power, but humans just can't bypass their own biology. But now that the dragon heart has been gifted to me, Theo clutches a pulsating, glowing heart in his palm. The quest rewards are insane, but there's a catch. Evelyn Narival stands there in full plate armor, faint light glowing off her. She's in a tight spot. Lore check. That's Evelyn Narival, top-tier swordswoman. Text scroll. Reveals she hung up her sword after losing her left arm. A profile shot shows her stone-cold, serious face. She was commander of the white-armored dragon cavalry, so skilled even the demon dragon of the cavalry simped for her. Plus, she's known for having morals of steel. Zoom in on her greaves and armored boots. She didn't give a damn about status or clout and had zero tolerance for liars or cowards. Extreme close-up on her intense glare. She actually quit as Theo's direct instructor. Theo does the math. In other words, if she sniffs out the mana hall, inside my dragon heart I am. The verdict echoes with terrifying finality. Executed. On the spot. A shadowy figure creeps closer, radiating violence. A whisper slips out, barely audible. He asks, chin up, defiant. You think you can handle this? A risky thought sparks. What if I just... Muses, talking about executing me right now based on nothing but a gut feeling. The question lingers. Can you handle the fallout? The figure blows, smoke face, unreadable. A scheme clicks in his brain. I can flip this on her. Theo declares, eyes glinting. Don't forget, I'm a Ragnar heir too. The consequences are laid bare. If these wild accusations turn out to be garbage, that's defamation of the Ragnar name. Theo, cigarette dangling loosely, states, that's the rulebook. Cecilia Ragnar's eyes go wide. Panic flashes across her face. A dark aura swirls around Cecilia as he asks if she knows the penalty for humiliating an heir. Cecilia's stare drills into him unreadable. Well, Theo challenges. Why don't you go ahead and check? Cecilia is spiraling, wondering if she misread the vibes. Is he actually that type of guy? Lady Cecilia, engulfed in a blazing azure aura, demands to dip, not caring that he's got Ragnar blood pumping through his veins. Cecilia's hand ignites with raw power. Rules are rules. The harsh blue glow illuminates a woman's face, eyes blazing with intensity. She drops the hammer, no exceptions. Two silhouettes stand frozen in the dimly lit chamber, the silence heavy enough to crush a soul. An unanswered question hangs in the void. A soft rustle breaks the quiet, a lingering touch. A voice cuts through the tension. How can someone not have a manahal? Zoom in on his eye pupil, trembling in pure disbelief. His internal monologue spirals. I was wrong. This isn't happening. A man with glowing crimson eyes snaps back. So what? The phrase, no manahal, flashes ominously. A figure drops to their knees, literally begging to be ended. Looks like he messed up big time. He's ready to pay for his sins with his pathetic life. One man towers over the kneeling figure. Inside his mind is racing. Dragon hearts play by different rules than standard manahals. It's a whole different ballgame. The very existence of a Dragonheart's manahal, a crystalline artifact, pulses with an inner light. Its power is completely under the user's command, total control. The young master, eyes flaring with that signature crimson glow, reveals he can cloak his mana whenever he wants. Cut to a classroom. The instructor slaps a diagram on the board, dropping the knowledge bomb that humans can possess a dragon heart. A voice echoes in the background, claiming this truth won't go public for years. She never would have guessed he was packing a dragon heart. A hand reaches out, fingers splayed wide, grasping for something just out of reach. Suddenly, the fist clenches tight around thin air, knuckles turning white from the pressure. Extreme close-up on an eye reflecting a chaotic storm within. The young master asks if he's tripping his face, a mask hidden in the shadows. A voice muses that few would bet their lives just to demand the truth from an heir. Someone states Evelyn is top-tier strong, and it'll work out if he clears his debt. Plus, the reason they gatekeep opening mana halls before the ceremony is to prevent a mana overflow disaster. For you to stress about me, the Ragnar bastard blowing up my mana hall. Honestly, it kinda touches my heart. Thanks for looking out, Evelyn. Theo sits solo, replaying the drama in his head. A cigarette dangles loosely from his lips as he contemplates the mess he's in. His gaze is 1,000 miles away, zoned out. The silence is deafening. A dragon heart plus 10 years of magical XP from my past life. A silhouette with glowing red eyes struts down a long corridor. I'm about to become OP in this timeline. Fast forward a few days, Rendon's face twists in cringe and frustration. No, that ain't it, he growls. The instructor throws his hands up, stopping just inches from Theo's chest. You gotta swing it more to the right here. Theo drills his sword forms, but his internal monologue is running wild. Leveling up feels good, but smurfing as a noob while listening to Rendon. Yapping is a struggle. Rendon's eyes narrow, a shady suspicion darkening his gaze. Rendon, you snake, he mutters under his breath. Theo keeps grinding, thinking he's subtly but definitely teaching me some garbage sword techniques. Totally bogus style. Theo swings, pretending to take Rendon's trash advice. More to the right, Rendon barks. Rendon analyzes Theo's moves, face calculating. I'm getting more convinced. There's a puppet master pulling Rendon's strings, Theo realizes. Flashback trigger, a body plummeting, eaten by flames. Theo resolves, I gotta dox whoever's behind this. The haunting memory refuses to fade. The one who fragged me. He stares daggers, crimson eyes half-lidded. A wicked smirk creeps onto his face. All right, bet. I got this. Rendon. The name booms out. A voice roars at the young master that chatting during class is a bannable offense. Theo snaps. I can't listen to your lecture anymore. It's absolute trash. Rendon gets pressed. How did you even make mid-tier swordsmen with those weak skills? The bribe Rendon took gets brought up. Theo doubles down. I feel like you'd get clapped by even low-level demon beasts. Rendon's inner thoughts spiral. He must have taken the instructor gig just to spy on me. Rendon barks. Are you deaf or something? Theo claps back. Your skills are garbage tier. He's told he needs to force a resignation. The name Young Master Theo flashes on screen. An older man watches, face stern. If Theo takes an L here, he'll have to bring in the mastermind. Meanwhile, we get a scenic shot of the Camille Palace towering over the city. Elsewhere, a blood-curdling scream tears through the air. Yo, did you catch the tea about the Ragnar outcast? Word is he's throwing hands with my master. Next week, a liquor glass clinks. Looks like he's pinning his lack of skill on the teacher. Zero talent energy. Guy's gonna end up permanently benched. The showdown is locked in. Bam! A blinding flash rips through the scene, sending debris flying like shrapnel. Axion Ragnar stumbles back, gritting his teeth as an invisible shockwave slams into his gut. Another body gets yeeted across the room, hitting the deck hard, while Remington Narcia watches face, shadowed and grim. Ragnar's eyes flare with a sinister crimson glow, his face twisted in pure, unadulterated rage. Dark Tiger's voice drips with venom. Like I care if some illegitimate kid gets wrecked for life. A voice cuts through the noise, rock solid. Should you, Dark Tiger looms over a broken figure, blood pooling on the cold stone floor. Remington spreads his hands, poker face on. Another shattered body on the ground, overshadowed by a menacing silhouette. Inside a dim tavern, a patron scoffs. That only applies to the gifted. His buddy shoots back. You're overthinking it, Pops. A candle flickers in the gloom. Right here a Ragnar stands tall, dominating the space. Crimson eyes glowing in the dark. He muses aloud. Why are you stressing over that unwanted stray? A voice counters. Unprecedented things happen. Even a 1% chance can flip the script. Think of a candle in the wind. Weak, maybe, but it can spark an inferno in a second. A figure turns away from the light. Someone smirks. Good. Let the instructor handle the dirty work for us. The camera pans up, revealing a massive training ground. Cut to 1 week later, training field number 4. Rows of trainees stand at attention. The atmosphere is tight. Remington stands on a balcony. Snow-dusted wind whipping his cloak. His hand grips his sword, hilt knuckles white. He grits his teeth. Damn it. Remington replays the mess in his head. Plan was simple. Humiliate the kid, get him fired. But steel glints in the pale light. He thinks, this spiraled way out of control. A heavy pause. But we're here now. Rendon's eyes flash red with fury, hand tightening on the blade. He swears I'm getting my payback, Rendon. Freezes as young Master Theo's gaze drills into him. He calls Rendon's skills straight garbage. The air crackles with tension as Theo's hand clutches his staff. Theo drops the bomb. You're fired. Get lost. His voice thunders, screaming Rendon's name. Rendon panics internally. I can't walk away, there's still time on the contract. He stammers about the expiration date. Theo cuts him off. If the boss says you're out, you're out. Theo's mind drifts to his past life. He wants to beat Rendon to a pulp right here, right now. But he's not confident. In his current stats, Theo's eyes gleam with a dark edge. Rendon clicks his tongue in frustration. Chew, he thinks. I gotta talk my way out of this. This breaks the rules. If I get canned now, my mission is a total bust. He pleads, wait young Master Theo and Rendon square off the atmosphere heavy enough to choke on. Ping A. Holographic window pops up. Tutorial quest number 3, defeat Rendon. A question mark lingers. An incredulous, what hangs in the air? Remington Narcia gestures wildly. Do it. Theo smirks. Let's settle this the Ragnar way. A sword hilt comes into focus. Theo asks, is that Evelyn? The Ragnar way text flashes on screen, the rule of the strong. Theo stands before the crowd. New text, sword, duel. Forget the courts. We follow the winner's will. An old-timer shouts, brilliant idea, the heavens are finally on my side. A dark-haired man calculates. 1 week from today. Theo asks, deal. Internally he knows, I can't beat Rendon yet, obviously. Rendon Harvey stands tall, wooden sword resting on his shoulder, staring Theo down. 1 week later, the arena is hyped. Word on the street is, Theo can't even hold a sword right. One spectator asks, how is that even possible? Another chimes in, is that kid even a real Ragnar? At least one guy argues he's the Ragnar cripple. No way he takes down a mid-tier swordsman. Rendon Harvey, that mid-tier swordsman, sneers at Theo. Apologize now, kid, and I'll pretend this never happened. No need to throw your life away. Over cheap pride. Theo Ragnar, the underdog apprentice, thinks, funny, that's exactly my line. Rendon's eyes flash with pure malice. He's not just sparring, he's playing for keeps. He briefly considers showing mercy to the weakling, but nah, too late for that. He'll ice him right here and call it a tragic training accident. A twisted grin spreads across his face. This setup couldn't be more perfect if he scripted it himself. Ladies first. The young master gestures, letting his teacher take the opening shot. Clang steel meets steel in a blinding blur of motion. Theo plants his feet, grip iron tight. He isn't budging an inch. Rendon darkens, shifting his stance for the kill. Metal screams against metal as they collide again. On the sidelines, a spectator's jaw hits the floor. He's muttering, totally glitching out as he tries to process the impossible. No way. Someone screams, pointing at the chaotic duel. Check that out. Theo and Rendon lock blades, the impact booming across the training grounds like a gunshot. Just as expected, the idiot is getting wrecked. Does he even know which end of the sword to hold? Rendon kicks it into high gear, his blade turning into a lethal streak of silver light. He's actually gonna die at this rate. What is happening? Rendon presses the assault, relentless. His voice drips with venom. You're helpless against a mid-tier swordsman. That's what you get for looking down on me. The beatdown continues. It's looking like game over. Obviously. Theo. Ragnar isn't even low tier. He's basically a rookie with a sharp stick. Someone breaks down the stats. Sure, he leveled up a bit recently, maybe got slightly better, It's weird, but still not enough. Unless he's hiding 4 Northern Clans level power, he's toast. Rendon's face twists into a sick, predatory grin. Pure evil in his eyes. Clang. Rendon's ego is sky high. There is 0 chance this Ragnar loser takes me down. Evelyn watches from the shadows, totally over it. Evelyn, girl, what were you thinking, setting up this death match? She justifies it, she's helping. If they want him gone, they better do a thorough job. Evelyn muses. Looks like he's got a backer. Just firing him won't cut it. She wonders how her contact knew that, since Theo was teaching her that bizarre sword style. Turns out they had a spy on the inside, investigating in the shadows. Meanwhile, Theo grunts under the pressure. Rendon barks orders, fix your angle, make it sharp. Rendon mocks the stance, a right angle, really wondering where the hell this style came from. Evelyn never saw this in her past life. Inside his head, Theo's connecting the dots. Did he get on her radar after the Monahall incident? Does this trail lead back to the Camellia Palace? The realization hits him like a truck. Camellia Palace, it's all about that wretched throne war. He grits his teeth. Those absolute scumbags. Still, he has to admit it's impressive they dug up that much dirt. Internal monologue running wild. But with my current stats, I can't take Rendon down. A voice whispers in his mind. What's the play? You can crush him. Theo Ragnar smirks. You guys have no clue who you're dealing with. The voice taunts. Your potential is off the charts, young master. A maniacal laugh echoes. Get on your knees and beg, and maybe, just maybe, I'll let you live. He holds his stance, blades ready. The silver-haired man stumbles back, eyes popping. Reality check incoming. Wait, something's off. Theo Ragnar narrows those crimson eyes and lunges forward. His movements are different now. Confident, lethal. Boom, steel, smashes against steel, sending shockwaves through the training grounds. Sparks fly like fireworks at the impact point. The silver-haired man grits his teeth, sweating bullets. He's barely holding his ground. He's been blocking everything I throw at him. The sheer force of the next collision shakes, the very air cracking like thunder across the sky. Where did this power come from? The silver-haired man stares, totally shook. This isn't the Theo Ragnar I know. He stumbles backward, brain short-circuiting over this sudden power spike. How did he get this strong this fast? He gasps, choking on his own fear. Meanwhile, 2 figures watch panic written all over their faces. He's actually getting pushed back. Another spectator analyzes the brawl. His defense is sloppy. Cut to elsewhere 1 week later. A blonde bombshell drops a serious offer with ice-cold resolve. If I personally coach you for a week, he knew the score. He figured stomping someone like her would be a total cakewalk. Sure, ignoring the head honcho to teach the kid broke the rules, but Theo just saw Rendon as a scumbag without a badge, an instructor with 0 rights. Rendon figured it'd all pan out anyway. Theo flashes a grin, thinking, you have no idea. Rendon calculated the ROI. Having Evelyn owe him a favor was pure gold. Theo just wondered what her angle was. Why go this hard to help him? Was it about the last run? Nah. Rendon figured there was another angle too. It's gotta be that connection he has here. Theo knew the guy was a talent hoarder. Boom. Rendon powers up energy crackling like live wires. Steel meets steel. Sparks fly. Pure kinetic impact shakes the air. But something's off. Wasn't this kid 0 talent trash from day one? So how? Or was he playing the fool the whole time? Why the long con? Rendon barks, who's your sugar daddy? Theo asks what he means by backing. Theo delivers a boot to the face. Total nonsense. You know the grind I put in for this. Then Theo wonders, is he blaming the Crimson Palace? Rendon gasps, how? Glad you're keeping it real, Rendon. The instructor freezes, cold sweat dripping down his face. He knows what's coming. Bye-bye, Arm A. Silver Flash slices the air with lethal velocity. The blade crunches deep through meat and bone. A red mist explodes in a gruesome spray. That sickening squelch echoes, reverberating through the silence. A fountain of blood erupts as the severed limb goes flying. The sound of chopping meat lingers in the air, nasty and raw. Theo looms over the severed arm, blood dripping from his blade. He towers over Rendon, the fallen man bleeding out on the floor while Theo's eyes glow with a dark, menacing light. The crowd gasps pure horror show. Rendon's face twists into a mask of pure agony. He unleashes a primal scream, raw, desperate, a sound that pierces the chilly air. Theo stands his ground on the blood-soaked snow. Rendon shrieks the song of the dying. My arm, my freaking arm. Pain sears his nerves like hot coals. Rendon's legs turn to jelly beneath him. You damn brat, you dare, I'm sure. How did you get this buff? Rendon wheezes, fighting the shock. No way, this is impossible. How can I be the one losing? Theo's eyes narrow, unlocking a memory. Remember what you told me, that it was my fault we ended up here. Rendon's face contorts in a silent scream. What? No, it's your fault. You're dying right here, right now. Theo readies his weapon again, bathing the blade in a crimson aura. Round 2. He stares daggers, eyes burning red. The crimson light flares up, roaring with power. Rendon's face warps in denial. You were the runt, the weakest link. The words echo inside Rendon's skull. You are trash, Rendon yells. Wait, too late. Theo unleashes a blender of attacks his blade, just a blur. The sword slices the air, leaving red trails in its wake. Target locked. Crunch brutal impact on Rendon's leg. Theo delivers the finisher. Game over. Meanwhile, Theo stands victorious next to Cecilia. Ding tutorial quest number 31 complete. Cecilia Ragnar chills on a rooftop overlooking the city. Suddenly, a body drops from the sky, spraying blood. Splat. A sword stakes into the ground, ringed by blood. Impact shockwaves ripple out. Theo's eyes glow demon red blood, dripping from his face. The young master dominates the scene, snow swirling around his fallen enemy. One watcher mutters, "Wait, the dunce actually won." An apprentice just clapped a mid-tier swordsman. "How is that even possible?" voices whisper. Theo glares at the corpse, thinking pathetically weak. He remembers suffering under this clown in his past life. Theo vows that things are going to be different this time, eyes blazing red. Reward unlocked, observation skill activated. Bonus loot, 1 year of magical power gained. Theo thinks, "Oh sweet mana," he murmura. Energy crackles in the air, bathed in an ethereal glow. Theo stands firm, sword ready, unshakable. The ground splinters under the pressure of the moment. A voice booms like thunder, shattering the silence. Theo looks up. Theo sharpens his gaze, a storm brewing in those crimson eyes. A figure in the white dragon cavalry's white armor towers high, gripping a spear tight. The armor gleams, reflecting the harsh light of the battlefield. Boss fight incoming. Boom, Julius Raynar, the infamous demon dragon and commander of the white-armored dragon cavalry, crashes onto the scene. The camera zooms in tight on Theo's face, total shock. How is this even possible? How long has he been lurking in the shadows? A wave of pure disbelief ripples through the dragon cavalry ranks. One of the 9 dragons is actually here. A soldier panics, staring at the rubble. "Commander, you absolutely trashed the floor." An irritated voice cuts through the dust. "Is it really that hard to make a normal entrance?" The figure steps forward, heavy boots echoing ominously. He freezes, feigning innocence. What did I do?" He holds a silent, contemplative gaze, acting clueless. Suddenly, unhinged laughter erupts. The cackling continues, mixed with shouts of thrill. "Ha ha ha, now this is a rush. Good, good, good." The two lock eyes, tension thick enough to cut with a knife. Remington Narcia breaks the silence, voice dripping with genuine surprise. "I didn't know you were packing that kind of heat. Looks like the student finally schooled the master." "Wait," Theo snaps back, a defiant edge to his voice. "Isn't that a bit disrespectful? You're the one who killed him, remember?" Remington pauses, looking thoughtful. "From what I saw, that guy had it coming, Lord Julius." Remington shrugs, dismissing the murder like it was nothing. Honestly, who cares? Close up on Remington, he looks completely unbothered by the chaos. Theo Raynar's name rings out. A hand violently grabs a face. The white-armored dragon cavalry is suddenly the talk of the town. Tight shot on the gleaming armor. A character smirks. Someone gasps, "No way. That moron Raynar got scouted for the White Knights. I don't care how good his fight was." "Yo," someone interrupts. "Has a trainee swordsman ever been picked up like this? Someone who hasn't even passed the awakening ceremony. Never heard of it." "Obviously not. His mana hall is sealed tight." Meanwhile, a hooded figure kneels in the dark shadows. Even if his sword skills are god tier, his magic power is 0. But with Julius Raynar involved, anything goes. Did the demon dragon actually see potential? Enough to gamble on me, Theo thinks. Even for a Raynar, no, I have to turn this down. A figure with flowing black hair stares daggers. 3 others watch, jaws on the floor. A man lounges on a throne overlooking the realm. Below him, a corpse lies in a pool of expanding crimson. "Did you hear? The idiot young master Theo. Rumor has it he obliterated his own teacher. Is that true? Well, just proves his master was weak. Guy looked pretty useless anyway. And after seeing that bloodbath, the demon dragon tried to recruit him on the spot. But the young master, he said no. Claimed he wasn't good enough." Cut to a knight standing guard outside. A humble Raynar, that's a new one. Camellia Palace, a massive structure. Looms overhead, windows glinting under a pale sky. A woman's sharp voice pierces the silence. "This just got messy." She sounds stunned. "I can't believe he actually killed Rendon." Emile Raynar, the mistress of Camellia Palace, stands with arms crossed, deep in thought. Another woman approaches. "Don't worry, my lady. Didn't you assign Rendon to him?" "No," the first woman replies, voice tinged with worry. "His skills were trash. Rendon dying isn't our problem." One name hangs heavy in the air, Brother Ed Troyven. The sky dragon stands with hands clasped behind his back, staring into the distance. His voice booms with foreboding. The demon dragon scouted him personally. Emile listens intently next to him. "That means we can't just interfere. By assigning a new master," the woman whispers. "Will he stand out now?" Another voice chimes in, concerned. "Why the panic? The clan head will never allow it." A voice declares confidently. "They'll take an interest, sure, but our plans proceed as normal." Someone explains the strategy. "Best way to seize the Rose Palace. is without ticking off the clan leader. A voice asks. So Theo stays powerless, confirmed. That idiot is still weak. The man muses, how much could he have really changed Evelyn and the demon dragon? Always did have a soft spot for strays. The name Axion is dropped. I should have told him not to make any rash decisions. A voice cuts in fine. Since mom and uncle are so worried, I'll just toy with him a little. A red-eyed man clutches a letter, a sinister grin spreading across his face. A massive fortress pierces the cloudy sky. Evelyn stands resolute before a shadowy figure. Addressing her as master, the figure shoots Evelyn a grateful nod. He realizes that training under her hits different than some stiff academy instructor. Honestly, Evelyn really should have joined the White Armor Dragon Cavalry. It makes him wonder why he turned them down in the first place. He'd be lying if he said there wasn't a twinge of regret. Looking back, joining the White Armor Dragon Cavalry was the ultimate dream in his past life. But signing up now, bad move. No reason to cap his potential this early. As he stands bathed in a golden aura, he weighs the insane perks granted to the Awakening Ceremony's MVP, knowing that even the Dragon Cavalry can't compete with that. He still feels like he's lacking, but prepping for the ceremony with Evelyn feels right. Okay, so the commander's gonna be salty. Observation. Scanning Evelyn Nerrival. Evelyn Nerrival, 24 female, former vice. Commander of the White Armor Dragon Cavalry, high-ranking swordswoman. She digs Theo's humility and character, feeling hyped for the first time in ages thanks to his training. She misses the cavalry, though. This observation skill is clutch. Serious game changer. He'll definitely be able to exploit this later. Excuse me, young Master Theo. I'm here from the Southern Inspection Post. Name's Sybil Drea. Gotta discuss something with you. Me guy looks intense. Who is this dude? Observation. Sybil Drea is locked in. A sinister silhouette smirks, confirming the data with chilling certainty. Sybil's profile pops up on the HUD, 17-year-old male, known as the Idiot of the Southern Inspection Post, an apprentice swordsman with ride-or-die loyalty and a massive craving to spar with Theo. A voice echoes in his head, itching for a fight. Then shock. He wonders if that glare is meant for him. Suddenly the system pings, final tutorial quest initiated. The objective flashes. Discard the title Ragnar's Imbecile. A voice booms out, declaring a desire to follow young Master Theo. Another voice admits to ghosting everyone until now. Zoom in on a bandaged arm. Someone curses, calling another guy a bastard. They tell Theo to get out there every morning and outgrind everyone else. The payoff for that hustle, Theo claims. He actually thought the Ragnar's Imbecile label fit him. Theo stands with another figure, background blurred out. Someone acknowledges Theo's miraculous glow-up seen with their own eyes. Theo stands there listening. Someone shouts, declaring Theo their idol the second he showed up. The speaker admits he almost gave up on himself after getting tagged as the Southern Inspection Office's idiot. Now the man begs for a chance to cross blades with Theo. Two figures stand together, one with pink hair, the other black. Theo thinks he'd normally be sus of this guy's intentions. A 17-year-old male is introduced as the Southern Inspection Office's idiot, an apprentice swordsman with major respect for Theo and a wish to fight him, but he seems legit. After taking down Rendon, and with rumors spreading about Lord Julius watching him, Theo figured people, crushed by inferiority complexes, would flock to test him. A crowd gathers before Sybil Drea. He never expected people would actually want to follow him. He figures this means everyone still has some Ragnar pride left. Yeah, sure, he's gonna need his own crew eventually. Steel glints in the light as a thought solidifies, becoming the Ragnar clan head, after all. In this quest, it's the final tutorial, the title he could never escape. With this new shot at life, he's ditching it for good. Theo pivots towards Sybil Drea. Evelyn, give us a sec. Theo Ragnar, apprentice swordsman of the Rose Palace, awaiting the awakening ceremony. Master Evelyn. New resolve hardens his gaze. Sybil Drea, apprentice from Southern Inspection, turns to face him. He inherited the sword mastery of the Kura clan, proficient in high-speed combat. Let's have a good match. A fierce war cry rips through the training grounds. The clash of steel rings out as two figures lock in a furious sword fight. Impact sends sparks flying. The air crackles with energy as the swordsmen trade heavy blows. The blades blur, moving at god-tier speed, every strike packed with lethal intent. Even while being called the Southern Inspection Office's idiot, he thinks to himself, this guy's fast, but I'm still confident in my own speed. A whirlwind of steel shreds the air. The dance of death rages on. Rumor has it, young Master Theo is the real deal. His skill is the truth. But Theo, he's looking at his opponent like, is this guy brain dead? Is he an idiot? Back in his past life, Theo would have struggled just to tank a few hits. Not anymore. Bam. The finisher lands, slicing through the wind itself. Theo descends like a god wrapped in a blazing blue aura. He smirks internally. This is way too easy now. Ugh. He sticks the landing. The impact shakes the ground. His opponent gritted his teeth. As expected of young Master Theo, I totally lost. Theo muses. Good fight. Learned a ton. He rises blade in hand, but his vision shifts. A holographic screen flickers into existence. Can I use observe on myself? The system pings observing Theo. Well, look at that. It actually works. The status window pops up, crunching the numbers. His life quantified. Skills are locked under the talent tab, meaning if he grinds these quests, he could unlock 4 more slots. Sick. Theo can even manually check his own stat values. Damn, look at that magic power. It's sky-high perks of his past life magic, and that dragon heart. But wait, negative luck. Seriously, Theo frowns. Am I cursed or something? He stares at the numbers. High magic trash luck. That explains why he was so unlucky in his previous life. Gotta fix that. He needs to farm some luck point stat. But for now, Theo shakes it off. What gives? He looks up, facing a sea of eyes. Doesn't matter how weak Rendon was, the guy was still a mid-tier swordsman. And young Master Theo, he just owned him. He even snagged the commander's approval with that might makes right vibe. The crowd's reaction splits in 2 straight up, jealousy or pure fanboy admiration. And looking at this crowd, they're definitely the fanboys. Were the rumors true? One spectator whispers, wondering if he could have even blocked Theo's blade. Another guy hypes himself up, shouting that he wants next. Enter Yudnalan, a pillar of the Naranvi County. Low-rank swordsman, sure, but fueling, with passion and grit. He's dying to throw hands with Theo. Yudnalan grins, his red eyes glowing with hype. He screams, bring it on, the challenge is laid down. Let's dance. He introduces himself, I am Yudnalan, third son of the Viscount Master of the Dual Ascension style. The atmosphere snaps with tension. Duel start, Yudnalan's eyes lock in. Clang steel meets steel, echoing through the arena. Blades grind together, sending sparks flying. System basic swordsmanship proficiency increased. Theo winds up movements sharp, lethal. Yudnalan leaps back, barely dodging the Reaper's scythe. The whiffed strike sends a shockwave ripping through the air. Blades sing a violent lullaby. With every clash, the energy spikes. Another heavy clash. System parry proficiency increased. Both fighters pause, genuinely shook by the others. Raw talent, respect, is blooming in the heat of battle. But then, game over. System opponent defeated. Luck +1. Yudnalan's approval. Wait, gaining approval boosts his luck stat. System experience points acquired. Does the system track his street cred too? Flash. A visual effect pops. System approval gained. Oh, he's keeping this streak alive. System approval gained. Ibina Ramiro. Luck +1. System approval gained. Eric Moran. Theo swings his blade with terrifying force. System approval gained. Manfred von Bayer. Luck +1. The notifications are flooding in. System approval gained. Manuel Noir. Approval gained. Vero Perim. Luck +1. Luck +1. System approval gained. Daniel Raymond. Luck is skyrocketing. Luck +1. A soft chuckle escapes his lips. Easy money. Cut to a group of bystanders. Some sitting, some standing, all totally drained. Theo sighs, the weight of the marathon fight crashing down on him. I've been grinding like crazy, he thinks. At this point, the tutorial quest gains are chump change. He wonders, is it diminishing returns? Because these guys already fanboy over him. He needs bigger fish, stronger enemies, or a bigger stage to flex on. He needs a new event. A bystander whispers. Theo looks wrecked. Is he gonna be okay? Theo brushes it off. I'll rest when I'm dead. Or later. Not yet. If the crowd wants a show, he'll give it to them. Meanwhile, Remington. Nacio steps up to the plate. The Silver Lion himself. Remington Nacio. One of the notorious Forehounds of the North. The atmosphere shifts. Remington Nacio is locked and loaded. His gaze bores into invisible prey. Even in the dim light, his armor gleams with intricate detail. The stage is set. The Camellia Palace is buzzing as the Ragnar clan locks in. We're talking about the absolute apex predators, the 4 strongest fighters in the game. Amidst the hype of the Awakening Ceremony generation, one name dominates the chatter, Remington Narcissus. He pulled up early, dead set on witnessing the legendary Ragnar blade work firsthand. Before the main event even kicks off, all eyes are glued to Narcissus. A voice cuts through the noise, dropping gratitude for granting a wish. This isn't just an NPC. This is Remington Narcissus, the Silver Lion deputy chief of the Narcissus clan, and a certified member of the infamous 4 Dogs of the North. But even a legend gets caught off guard. An unexpected challenger steps into the frame, shattering his expectations. Enter Theo Ryan. As the 31st son of the North's great guardian, and a humble apprentice, Kyle Ryan's boy is locked and loaded for the awakening. Theo freezes, stunned to be standing face to face with the sword genius he's always idolized. But the mission clock is ticking and he has to move. For Theo, crossing blades with the Narcissus clan's deputy chief isn't just a fight, it's the ultimate badge of honor. No holding back. Theo craves a brawl, desperate to test if his current level can handle the heat. He wants that smoke, but is his build ready? The atmosphere gets heavy. Azure aura explodes around him, the air screaming under the weight of invisible pressure. Drenched in that electric blue glow, his blade hums with newfound juice. He launches forward, boots hammering, against the invisible floor. The gap closes in a heartbeat. The objective is clear. Take down Remington. That blue aura rages like a hurricane, spiraling into a vortex of raw destruction. But then, a volatile blast of orange and crimson erupts to meet it. Fire meets ice. Steel slams into steel. The shockwave ripples through the invisible arena. As Theo stares down, the beast, that fiery aura, surges for one last spike of power before the real war begins. A blinding flash tears through the air, crackling with unseen force. Eyes narrowed, blade poised. Neither fighter flinches. They are locked in, ready for whatever comes next. Light dances off cold steel. A blur of motion slices the wind. Focus absolute. Zero hesitation. A trio of bystanders watches, lungs empty, totally captivated. Clang. Metal grinds on metal, the sound thunderous across the battlefield. Impact energy floods the zone as both warriors reset their stance. Round 2 is loading. Young Master Theo scrambles to process the combat data. Meanwhile, a spectator is in total denial. No way, he gasps. His buddy shrugs, calling it inevitable. Doesn't matter how much, Young Master. Theo leveled up, taking down one of the 4 dogs. That is a pipe dream for this generation. The dust settles. The armored warrior stands tall in the fading light. But that fighting spirit you showed, that is where I lost. Theo's head snaps up, pure shock painted on his face. Good fight. Your gear was trash, sword already worn down, and your stamina was in the red before we started. This match goes to you. I lost the second my blade left my hand. Theo's intense expression melts away. Real recognizes real. A firm handshake seals the moment. Let's run this back properly next time. You bet. Just like that, he gets the nod from a legend. One of the 4 dogs just validated him. Even the bystanders admit young Master Theo hits different now. Ding, tutorial mission update. Theo's face locks back in. Determination spikes. The validation is real, but he's not done. Staring into the void, Theo does the math. Secret manuals plus talent stats gained from quests equals a build, incomparably stronger than his previous life. But that clash, it was a reality check. Theo knows he still has a massive grind ahead. His face darkens, hiding the storm of thoughts inside. The duel was a wash, but the loot was sweet. Luck, stat boosted by 10 points. And his street cred just skyrocketed. As the tutorial bar fills up, he is salty. The completion rate didn't jump higher. Whatever. There is always another exploit. Young Master. Theo ponders where to flex next to get approval. Suddenly, a booming voice interrupts. I didn't just come here to spar, kid. The armored giant drops a massive invite. Theo's eyes go wide, a cold sweat rolling down his cheek. It is a ticket to the Scaled Dragon Society. Cue the ominous silhouette montage in the background. The name drops like a bomb. This is the Scaled Dragon Society, the VIP club. Exclusive access only for the chosen elite. The invite glows with a crimson seal. He is in Theo's mind races, why is a scrub like him getting the golden ticket? Is it just because his crew is famous? Nah, a voice off screen cuts in. He is built for more than that. It's qualified, and the squad isn't too uptight. Just a chill social circle for peers prepping for the upcoming awakening ceremony. Someone else is having a major FOMO moment, practically in tears over not getting an invite. Theo admits he's got zero clue why. Remington tapped him for this. He realizes the Scale Dragon Society basically orbits around Axion. The place is crawling with haters who look down on him. Perfect. It's the ultimate grinding spot to level up his quest. Plus, he can run some recon on Axion and the Camellia Palace. Theo sees absolutely no reason to say no. He thanks the messenger and locks in his attendance. Then a smirk plays on his lips as he scans a holographic display. A tutorial quest pops up. Objective Escape, the title Idiot of Ragnar. Current progress sits at 36%. Solid plan, a voice chimes in. 2 silhouettes fade into the distance, one calling back, hit me up if you need anything. A voice confirms the next meetup is in 2 weeks. A lone figure drags on, a cigarette lost in the smoke and deep thought. Zoom in, a hand clutches a chest. Cut to the majestic Rose Palace towering into view. 3 distinct gasps of excitement pierce the air. My baby boy, a woman shrieks. Oh mother, Theo sighs. He's instantly swarmed by his mom and a mob of servants. What's with the commotion, he wonders. They drop the bomb. He snagged an invite to the Scale Dragon Society. Emil Ragnar is practically glowing hands clasped in pure hype. Narrator voice, the Scale Dragon Society isn't just a club. It's the VIP lounge for Axion, the cunning Emil's son, and elite talents like Remington Rendon Harvey and Evelyn Nerival. They swarm him, fitting new threads. Every detail matters, from his drip to his swagger. It's all under the microscope. Inside, the Scale Dragon Society judgment is the name of the game. Emil knows his etiquette is flawless, but his fashion game and aura, that's a whole different beast. Lucky for you, Emil declares, I've got this handled. In case you forgot, His mom used to be a legit actress. Theo thinks to himself, thank God she's on my team. My precious son, the legitimate child of a commoner concubine. Mother, she always carried the guilt of sticking that label on him, even though it wasn't her fault. The imposing silhouette of the Ragnar clan castle loomed against the freezing winter sky, a constant icy reminder of the heavy expectations and legacy crushing down on Theo. He wondered how brutal it must have been for her, raising a son everyone called defective. My dear son, flashback the back of a familiar red coat, the symbol of the one woman who never stopped believing in him. Mom believes in you. You got this. Theo's crimson eyes narrowed a spark of pure steel, igniting within them. He wouldn't let her down. Not this time. He felt a phantom comforting pat on his shoulder. A silent vow. Mother, you don't need to worry anymore. Cut to a massive hall packed with people, the air buzzing with low chatter. A man's face is obscured by shadow, a sinister grin creeping across his lips. My son is joining the Scale Dragon Society, and I am going to absolutely crush the Scale Dragon Society. 2 weeks later, snow drifts softly over a distant mountain city. Night has fallen on the Scale Dragon banquet. A figure stands before an ornate carriage, breath misting in the crisp bite of winter air. The young man's face is a mask of calm determination. Click, click, his steps echo in the cold night. He's decked out in sharp formal wear. His gaze is laser-focused. Boots crunch against the snow-covered ground. A subtle smirk plays on his lips, hinting at the chaos to come. Is that really you, young Master Theo? You look like a whole new person. The white-haired man asks, stunned. Even you're roasting me now, Mr. Remington. Remington gestures forward. After you, he says. Theo thinks. He's not wrong. I haven't just gotten taller. My muscles are way more defined. That's the payoff from 2 full weeks of non-stop grinding. Cue flashback. Remington spotting Theo. Young Master Theo, let's hit the training grounds together. Remington showed up every single day. We're pretty tight now, Theo thinks, not to mention all the followers I picked up. Steel clashes against steel ringing across the field. Theo sighs. Just a quick session. How did I end up in this mess? The training ramps up. The squad moving in perfect sync. 2 grueling weeks, Theo reflects. Well, Remington breaks the silence. I heard this is your first formal banquet, he adds quickly. Oh, don't sweat it. No need to be nervous. Remington smiles. I know you're gonna crush it. The only thing is, his eyes narrow, a flicker of suspicion dancing in the crimson depths. My buddy Axion. Let's just say he likes to stir up trouble. Theo locks in as Rendon drops the bomb. Actually, it was Axion who insisted on meeting you personally. Don't get the wrong idea, the voice adds smooth as silk. He pulled out all the stops for this feast, just for you. Theo's mind races, pieces clicking into place. So Remington wasn't the one pulling the strings. It was Axion all along. A sharp exhale escapes him. Suspicions. Through the roof. This is going way too smoothly. Voiceover hits. I can't wait to see how this plays out. Carriage wheels rattle over cobblestones, ferrying Theo straight into the lion's den. Am I walking into a massive humiliation ritual? Cut to. A dark-gloved hand swirling amber liquor over ice. Ragnar's little moron, a voice hisses. Axion Ragnar grins, nursing his drink. Text card slams down. Axion Ragnar, one of the Northern Quartet. Unseen shadows linger with a predatory vibe. Finally. A fun new toy to break. A massive structure dominates the skyline. Carriage wheels spin to a halt, polish gleaming under the sun. Leather boots hit the stone pavement. Theo steps out, flanked by another figure. His gaze, lethal. Those red eyes are razor sharp. The Camellia Palace looms ahead, spires piercing the clouds. Theo stands dwarfed by its sheer scale. Camellia Palace. A monument stretching toward the heavens, screaming power and ancient bloodlines. The place where everything started. Where Rendon stunted my growth and eventually swallowed me whole. My mother. The entire Rose Palace. Gone. The imposing walls loom over him, practically leaking dirty secrets. Shall we? The attendant asks. Theo snaps back to reality. Yeah, he'd heard Axion was coming to roll out the red carpet personally. He's probably lurking at the entrance right now. The reason for the invite, painfully obvious. Since Ragnar's idiot is finally making moves, Axion's probably trying to checkmate him early. But Theo didn't show up empty-handed. I'm gonna teach you exactly who you're messing with, Axion. Theo's expression turns into steel, red eyes glowing with grit. Wait, is that the blue glint of a quest marker? A hidden quest inside Camellia Palace. Young Master Theo, someone calls out. Theo stands beside his escort, face stone cold as the shout echoes. Theo strides forward, eyes locked on the looming fortress. Master Theo, you okay? Bam. A cloud of white powder explodes in the air. A flower-coated figure coughs outraged. What the hell is this? The dusty victim fumes. Theo thinks, if this were my past life, I wouldn't have dodged that. I'd be covered in white right now. Remington Narcio stands there, totally bewildered. I thought Remington was in on the prank, but look at him. He looks clueless. Remington brushes himself off internal monologue, running wild, greeting me with a flower bomb. Seriously, Evelyn and Remington watch the scene unfold. Evelyn muses, the only people petty enough for this. Remington asks, what's your read? Just basic etiquette, right? Remington scoffs. Some greeting. Before he can finish, a figure with glowing red eyes cuts in. Why so mad, the voice taunts. Just take it as a warm brotherly hello. Enter Axion Ragnar, the black tiger aspiring swordsman. He's vibing like he just found a shiny new fidget spinner to crush. He stares out, face unreadable, but aura screaming trouble. His eyes narrow, gears turning trap setting. Axion's gaze goes ice cold. Red eyes flash with dangerous intensity. Thanks, Theo says, voice dripping with sarcasm. Totally felt the love. With a welcome that warm, how could I not be grateful? A wide, unhinged grin splits Axion's face. Ragnar. I can't wait for tonight's bash. His face shadows over pure malice dancing in his eyes. Lips twitching into a sinister smirk, he leans in. You. His voice is straight up venom. You've gotten a lot more entertaining since I last saw you. Scene change. Massive chandelier glitters over a luxe ballroom. Golden light floods the scene. Two figures stand in the corner, voices hushed in gossip mode. The room is packed with high society drip chatter buzzing. What is Axion playing? At one guest whispers, looking stressed, anxiety painted on their face. Click. Click. Footsteps echo sharply across the marble floor. Axion stands with an associate watching. Didn't you catch that? He's treating him like a chew toy. Master Theo, I'm so sorry, the attendant stammers. They aren't usually like this. Theo waves it off. Chill, it's fine. Honestly, I'm grateful, Theo says coolly. Let them talk. I need them to drag my name through the mud. So when I crush them later, it'll be justified. Camera pans outside to the building's facade. Narrator voice. By the way, that mysterious blue light seems to be coming from this wing, Theo thinks. It's definitely a quest marker, but I can't just waltz over there without an excuse. Suddenly, a voice cuts in, enjoying the party. Axion steps into the light, expression unreadable, slowly mounting the stairs. The noise swells as Axion closes the distance. Inner monologue kicks in. Chill out. Stick to the script. Alright, showtime. Now face to face with the group, he puts on a mask. Sure, thanks for the invite. Right. About earlier. My bad. I might have gone a little overboard. A rich, deep voice cuts in. Will you accept my apology? Emil Raynar locks eyes, a sinister smirk dancing on his lips as the other guy watches clueless. The question hangs heavy in the air. Right, Evelyn Naravi studies his face, caught between shock and worry. She's wondering why the sudden change of heart. The guy with long black hair watches with a faint grin. Suddenly, Emil's expression goes cold as stone. What? Evelyn is blindsided. Say what? She stammers. Emil throws a friendly arm around the other guy's shoulder. Oh haha, wow, look at our boy Theo, you're a riot man. Had no clue you rolled like this. Evelyn eyes the duo, thinking, I'm digging this guy more and more. A soldier murmurs, check it out, he's just smiling and acting like Axion's little lapdog. Another whispers back, noble Troivan blood, is that for real? Even among Ragnars, they're in totally different leagues. He stands with another figure, the setting sun, casting long, dramatic shadows. A voice echoes, yeah, you can't compare Troivan, the elite Eastern Sword clan, with some random chick from who knows where. Emil cracks a slight smile, his face unreadable in the dim light. A guy in shades asks, but why was Remington sucking up to that moron? Another shoots back. Well, if you dig into the intel that just dropped, Remington is actually the real deal too. Hey, watch your mouth. Emil's gaze sharpens, a subtle shift in his vibe. In his stance, Emil turns away, his true thoughts locked behind a veil of silence. Two figures stand together, expressions grim as they watch Emil walk off. One character narrows their eyes, a plan forming. I was thinking of watching from the sidelines a bit longer, but that's not gonna fly. Emil takes the foreground, the two figures blurred behind him, their chatter unheard. A voice declares, I should probably say hey to my new buddies too, right? A figure swirls, a glass liquid spinning. Intentions murky. Emil stands amidst the crowd, the air thick with unspoken tension. He grips a wine bottle, dark liquid sloshing inside. Emil offers it to Rendon. Seems like a peace offering. Suddenly, boom! Emil swings with brutal force. The bottle connects with Rendon's skull. The sound of shattering glass dominates the hall. Shockwaves ripple through the crowd. Rendon's eyes go wide in disbelief, face twisted in pure agony and confusion. Emil towers over the fallen. Rendon stone-faced. Rendon hits the deck, a strangled cry escaping his lips. Blood streams down Rendon's face, eyes burning with rage. You sick bastard, you dare, his hand trembles as he reaches for the wound. Emil stands unmoved, the jagged remains of the wine bottle still clutched in his grip. Crimson splatters stain the pristine floor. Emil turns to leave, footsteps echoing in the silence. Rendon sprawled out, a dark pool blooming beneath him. Rage boils over in his mind. Bastard Emil looms over him, a dark silhouette against the light. Just a little hello, he quips, voice dripping with disdain. Does that hurt to say? Rendon coughs, blood painting his lips. A tutorial quest window pops up. Escape the title, Ragnar's Imbecile. Emil thinks, oh, say what? What just happened? Emil's eyes widen, a flash of genuine surprise crossing his face. Young Master Theo isn't the type to pull a stunt like this, he thinks. Wait, was that for me? Emil spins around and walks off, leaving Rendon in the dust. Rendon stays grounded, gasping for air. With that, consider yourself welcomed. Emil calls out back, turned to the victim. So I guess I should say my goodbyes now too, right? Rendon clenches his fist, knuckles turning white from the tension. Rendon wheezes. You. Wait. His hand ignites with a fierce red energy. Two uniformed figures stand at attention, faces blank. They fade into the background as the camera snaps, focused to Emil. Tutorial quest, number 04, escape the title, Ragnar's Imbecile. 58 out of 100%. Hello tutorial. Quest number 04, escape the title, Ragnar's Imbecile. 59 out of 100%. Emil shouts, anyone else want to say hello? Tutorial quest number 04, escape the title, Ragnar's Imbecile. 66 out of 100%. With blinding speed, Emil draws two swords at once. Leaping forward, he winds up to strike with both blades. His grip tightens on the hilt's knuckles, white, with anticipation. Emil holds his stance crossed swords, catching the glint of the light. The sin of harming the young master, a voice booms, has been paid for in death, face hidden in deep shadow. The tension is thick enough to choke on. Everyone's thinking the same thing. Who is this guy? The speaker steps up. It's the third young master of the Navi clan, Ian Navi. He drops the mic immediately. Here is the exact reason I showed up. At the Scale Dragon Society, surrounded by enemies. He flexes his status, revealing he's from one of the 6 snow clans backing the throne, House Ragnar. This is the Navi clan. He makes it crystal clear his people aren't gonna just sit back and watch the show. Especially not when the total loser they've always looked down on suddenly decides to grow a spine. A voice cuts through the noise, dripping with disdain. So what? Ian's face twitches a vein, popping as pure annoyance flashes across his features. The figure declares, I'm done playing nice. Sharp cut. The scene flips, the speaker is now towering over young master, Ian blade drawn and ready to strike. The challenge rings out cold and deadly. You got the guts to demand my death. A pitch-black aura explodes outward, daring Ian to back up his big talk. 1. His eyes flare up, glowing crimson. A look that doesn't just promise payback, it screams it. 2. The question hangs in the air. You think I'll tolerate disrespect? 3. Armored heavy hitters square up the tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. 4. Nobody moves. The silence is deafening. 5. The camera zooms in. Jet black hair, piercing red eyes, and a stare that freezes your blood. Someone whispers, is that seriously the Ragnar fool we all know? But here's the truth bomb. This guy has a legit claim to the throne. Direct bloodline of House Ragnar. And remember, Ragnar isn't just a name. It's the Lord of the North. The king of the 6 snow clans. 3 chess pieces stand ominous and tall, a silent declaration that this is a game of life and death. Lights out. Darkness swallows the scene. We're talking about a sin so massive that wiping out an entire clan would be a fair sentence. But for some reason, the rules haven't applied to this guy, until now. Theo's face contorts in pure rage. No more talking. No more holding back. A voice shouts, should we apologize? No, kill them all. In the background, a silhouette emerges, footsteps echoing like a death knell. Schwing, a sword slashes down, moving faster than the eye can track. A streak of blue light tears through the air, trailing the fighter. He moves with surgical precision. Blood sprays across the frame as the blade continues its lethal dance, painting the floor red in his wake. The swordsmen lock in, eyes narrowed, gripping their weapons with white-knuckle intensity. Cut to the floor, enemy down face first, defeated. A silhouette ascends the stairs, backlit by a holy glow. Thud. Another body hits the deck, echoing through the halls. A system window pops up. Tutorial mission. Shed the title, Ragnar's Fool. Theo stares dead ahead, locking eyes with something only he can see. Evelyn, a voice gasps in shock. Evelyn Nereville turns, a fox-like grin playing on her lips. So when exactly did you figure out I was tailing you? Hendon Harvey stands there, arms crossed, wearing a smirk that says he knows everything. Theo thinks Idka why she's here, but honestly, thanks to her shadowing me, I can flip the script without looking over my shoulder. Cut to a lone figure standing amidst a chaotic battlefield, surrounded by a sea of bodies. Crash. The sound of something breaking pierces the silence. Hendon's words linger in the air. Thought you swore off teaching students. Hendon, clutching a booze bottle, asks, so how's the new sword prodigy treating you? A white-haired guard steps up. You got somewhere else to be, old man. You were just a rookie standing guard back when I retired. Hendon chuckles. My only entertainment lately has been messing with you guys. So what's the verdict? A voice responds. It's crystal clear. A gravelly voice booms. That's a hard yes. But then, a heavy sigh. A softer voice whispers, forget it. The first speaker admits the kid blew past all expectations. He Notes that if we're just talking raw talent and attitude, he's legit. The gruff man takes a deep swig from his bottle. He wonders aloud if Axion was ever this good under his training, then drops the verdict. This guy, he's the best I've seen. Evelyn nods, analyzing the potential. He's on another level, even beyond young master. Axion. She pauses. And I don't say that lightly. The rugged man bursts into laughter, quipping, well, you got 2 working eyes, so you clearly see better than me, Evelyn counters. People don't just change that drastically overnight. She frowns. But somehow that seems to be exactly what happened. She keeps going, saying it's weird. Why would someone hide that kind of power for so long, only to suddenly start flexing it now? Hendon interrupts. Did he really hide it, or did he just find it? He leans in, noting that rushing makes people trip up. But this kid, he moves like he's being chased by a ghost. Hendon wraps it up. That's exactly why I'm worried about him diving into the scale dragon. Society mess right now. The rough man signals to move out. If you're stressing over him, he reassures Evelyn, then let's go keep an eye on the kid. Insisting that reality might flip on her fears, she knew something big was about to drop. 3. Hendon ran the numbers in his head. When young wolves out for blood gather in one pit, they naturally start violent power plays to establish the alpha. He added, while you're at it, test that guy's limits too. A hand gently draped a folded white coat across the table. Meanwhile, Theo's eyes narrowed into slits, a fire of pure determination igniting within his gaze. He mused, drag him. Into the white armor dragon cavalry, Hendon turned his back on Evelyn, walking away. Watching him go, she challenged, you think you can just clock out because you can't ride a dragon anymore? Hendon shot back. Go back and clean up the mess for the rookie you brought in. I'm out of here. Cut to a new scene. Theo savored the crimson vintage thinking, damn, this hits the spot. The pristine white coat rested on the table right next to the half-empty wine bottle. A voice cut in, good cause, that bottle wasn't cheap. Later that night, the camera pans over a massive estate bathed in soft moonlight. A woman stands in the grand hall, blade drawn, surrounded by dropped bodies. She realizes he clocked that someone was tailing him and set this whole stage up on purpose. She figured he might have joined the Scaled Dragon Society with this exact moment in mind, realizing he wasn't just some random nobody she could ignore. For starters, she wonders exactly how long he's been onto her. One thing's for sure, this guy is anything but average. She felt his aura. The second he stepped inside her carriage. The owner of a dragon heart. That hooded figure can unleash energy perception, basically a sixth sense on steroids. Anyway, thanks to that, the trap was sprung. Now the swordswoman stands next to a man, with flowing long hair. Most of the trash in here disrespected a candidate for succession. What's the penalty for that level of treason? Depending on clan law. 1. His gaze is razor sharp, locked on the mission. Immediate execution is on the table. The thought hung heavy in the air as Emil towers over the defeated. A cruel smirk tugs at his lips, seeing as these are just kids who haven't even had their awakening ceremony yet. Take one arm each and end it there. Emil swings his blade locked and loaded. Understood. Someone screams, wait. The second son of the Byron clan falls to the blade. The first son of the Red and White Mercenary Corps meets his end. The fourth daughter of the Ceres Merchant Guild and the Clark clan's third son get wrecked. The Howard clan's first daughter is next on the chopping block. The tutorial quest to shake off the title of Ragnar's Fool is grinding forward. A man on the floor begs, pleading with Emil for mercy. An invisible force slams into him and he shrieks in agony. Emil claims that was just a hello. Another invisible strike hits and the man screams. The unseen force keeps hammering him. The blows just keep raining down. Emil stands over the man's body, Evelyn flanking him. First son of the Parham family. One final scream rips through the room. Emil and Evelyn stand side by side, surveying the aftermath. Emil says, never thought I'd run into you like this, Evelyn. She replies, been a minute, young master. A system notification pops up. Tutorial quest. Escape the title. Progress is sitting at 82 out of 100%. He specifically targeted the ones running their mouths about his bloodline. He played it so perfectly that even as a fellow successor candidate, she couldn't intervene. On top of that, Emil announces, I severed the right arms of the 14 people you pointed out. A voice asks, good work. What's their status? The voice continues, if they rush those arms to a priest, they can probably get them reattached. Emil clarifies, but their careers as swordsmen, that's over. Evelyn replies, perfect. A voice asks young Master Theo, you good? It's noted that both Remington and Evelyn got wasted because of him at some point. Theo Ragnar, the so-called fool of the Rose Palace, has completely leveled up. Tisk, tisk. Emil's expression turns stony, a sinister grin playing on his face. Emil declares, I want to crush them beneath my boots. Emil says, let's roll Evelyn Remington. Someone replies, copy that. A voice calls out, inviting someone to tag along. Theo Ragnar's eyes narrow, a flash of steel in his gaze. 1. His stare remains intense, focused on something unseen. 2. Theo Ragnar strides down a hallway with another figure. A fist clenches tight, knuckles turning white from suppressed emotion. 3. Theo Ragnar claims he had a blast. Action. Theo Ragnar stands before a notification. Tutorial quest. Hashtag 04. Escape the title Ragnar's Fool. A health bar indicates 100 out of 100. Catch you later. The words hang in the air. The man's face twists total shock. His eyes bulge, pupils trembling in sheer disbelief. Boom. The name Theo Ragnar blazes across the sky. A system notification flashes into existence. All. Tutorial quests cleared. That Ragnar Fool reputation, dead and buried. Its official mission complete. Theo Ragnar flanks himself with 2 allies. The trio stares down a massive structure, but Theo's internal monologue is darker. My true revenge. It starts right now. Rewards acquired. Elixir of experience. Type potion. Effect. Instant. 5-level boost. Requirement. Must be under level 30. Cut to golden hour. The sun dips, splashing the sky in burning orange. Shafts of light pierce through a grand window. A woman scribbles furiously in a ledger, brows furrowed in deep focus. Flash forward. She's standing before a man, the room swallowed by shadows. She doesn't stop writing. He doesn't stop watching. His gaze is intense. The Axion-scaled Dragon Society used to be. A glass shoots up. Hear, hear. His voice booms with hype. To young Master Theo's insane debut. Into high society. The crowd roars back, crystal glasses clashing in a deafening cheers. The room erupts. Thunderous applause. It's a tidal wave of hype. Partygoers swarm the tables. Hoisting drinks vibes high. Theo takes a sip, mind racing. Defeated by that idiot Theo. The party rages on, air thick with ale and brotherhood. Cut to the Camellia Palace. Looming, imposing. Its sharp silhouette cuts against the ink-black sky. Crock. Heavy doors groan open, exposing the belly of the beast. A gray-haired woman with a face like stone speaks, voice razor-sharp. You didn't just hand that bastard an excuse. You let your people's arms get. Theo's face is a mask of exhaustion and defiance. Scars map his face, souvenirs from hell. Theo's voice drops a low rumble. Yeah, you honestly think that adds up? I warned you, over and over. Don't take this lightly. The gray-haired matriarch turns her back on Theo, radiating pure dominance. Forget breaking him. You just gave him a license to go, absolute psycho. A male voice booms, dripping with frustration. Theo Ragnar is making waves. Taking the Rose Palace just got a hell of a lot harder. The unseen man snaps back, tone dripping with venom. Spare me the excuses. Go. Think about your screw-up. Reflect on how you nearly torched our master plan chasing cheap thrills. Theo listens, his expression turning to ice. Theo signs off, voice deadly calm. I'll keep that in mind. Cut to Evelyn Mirrorview in the Grand Hall A. Delicate fan in hand. Hendon Harvey stands nearby, scratching his head. Who did Theo get that reckless streak from? Nalan chimes in. He's a carbon copy of Rendon back in the day. Rendon's eyes narrow into slits. He demands to know if that's some sick joke, begging Evelyn not to lose her cool, claiming this whole mess might actually have a silver lining. Nalan blinks. How so, Nalan? Breaks it down. Since the Rose Palace has been tied to Rendon the clan head, it's been impossible to snatch ownership. He goes on. Sure, the clan head ignored it, treating it like a dumping ground where losers gather. But Rendon points out, they still had the big boss's protection. What they needed was a spark. Rendon clenches his fist. Justification. Luckily, Theo unleashed total hell at the Scaled Dragon Society meeting. Theo's morphing into the face of the Rose Palace. We used that Dragon Society disaster as leverage, hit him with legal action, shut him down. The reason he found Theo's power spike so disturbing, he was terrified. If the clan head actually started caring about the Rose Palace, they'd be screwed. But now, they can use buffed-up Theo to seize control. If the Camellia Palace uses the law to wipe the floor with them, the Rose Palace has zero choice. They'll have to bend the knee to the Troivas. We take the Rose Palace without making a peep. A woman speaks up. Timeline. How long to prep please? By the time you wake up tomorrow, you'll have some killer news. He smirks. Go take a bath. Get some beauty sleep. Tonight, my lady. He mentions a gift, a scented candle from the Sal Fiacre volcanic zone. Super rare stuff. A voice chimes in, hyping up the older brother's moves, buzzing with anticipation. A confession of love drops, but it feels heavy, inevitable. A voice cries out in pure shock. Major plot twist vibes. The speaker admits, I had no clue. Young Master Theo cared this much. A question hangs heavy in the air. Whispers ripple about the Scaled Dragon Society. And then out of nowhere, hey, is that orange juice? The narrator flashes back to that gritty moment, young Master Theo standing his ground, tanking every insult like a boss. A voiceover kicks in, feeling totally useless and embarrassed for not stepping up. It's wild how Theo just took it. Despised by everyone for being an illegitimate child treated like dirt, yet he never folded. But look at the glow-up. He didn't just survive. He became an absolute unit. We're talking about a guy facing opponents way out of his league, yet he had the willpower to secure a flawless victory against the Camellia Palace. Literally nobody saw that coming. The dude had the guts to draw his sword with zero hesitation, total main character energy. Remington Narcio is watching him thinking, did he do all that? Just for me, Remington is caught in 4K convinced Theo is his ride-or-die bestie. Meanwhile, Theo is dead silent. Poker face on lock. He definitely has no clue. Remington is misunderstanding the situation this badly. I'm pledging my loyalty to you, Lord Theo. The man sits down looking deep. Real recognizes real, he thinks. You two are cracked. Wait, hold up. I think you're reading too much into this. Just let it slide. Is it telepathy? The crowd goes wild, pure hype on their faces. It's not exactly a misunderstanding, thinks the pink-haired girl with a knowing smirk. Cut to another scene, two guys laughing it up. Maybe everyone just wants to ride your coattails, young master. I'm just a regular guy, Theo thinks. But actually, it might be all thanks to this glitchy cheat code. A holographic system window pops up showing Theo Ragnar's stats. What even is this? At first, I thought it was just fragments of my regrets manifesting. But looking closer, nah. I'm getting major deja vu. Whatever it is, it's buffing me, so I'm not complaining. Looks like every time I level up, I get stat points to min-max my build. So I can customize my skills however I want. With this power, my future is looking blindingly bright. He starts plotting his next move. First order of business prep for the Camellia Palace clapping back. Theo turns and says, since you brought it up, can you do me a solid? Remington lights up. Say less, Master Theo, anything. Theo looks a bit shook by the enthusiasm. A card materializes in his hand. Internally, he's thinking, the throne war between me and Axion is about to get sweaty. Theo grips the card tight. I need to be ready for when the beat drops. So help me out. Remington is stunned by the request. But here's the lore in the future. Remington becomes the head of the Narcio clan. Theo knows this. He thinks his forces will be OP enough to rival the Ragnars. I need to secure this asset right now. Gotta get Remington on my team permanently. So Theo says, take this, Remington. He hands over the card. The guy smiles, gripping the item. A voice swears eternal loyalty to young Master Theo, promising to handle any task. Another dude is grinning, thanking him. The man realizes he just got called king in a friendly way. Theo Ragnar's name echoes through the hall. Suddenly, boom. A loud crash interrupts the vibes. Armored units stomp forward. A woman gasps, screaming about the swords of law. One of the knights flashes a warrant with Theo Ragnar's name on it. They tell the woman she's under arrest for threats, assault, and intimidation. She's like, are you kidding me? This is bogus. A guy tries to de-escalate. Yo, chill out, it's fine. But the armored knight sneers. Is this a real warrant? The ink hasn't even dried yet. They were in a massive rush to frame him. The knight barks, move it. Cut to hands in shackles. The guards surround him as someone screams, young Master Theo. A man nods grimly. Two figures look absolutely shook. Someone clutches the card in the background. The camera pans out. The Rose Palace towers over everything. The woman asks, terrified, where are they dragging Theo? The man confirms, to the courthouse. He tries to reassure her, asking, what are the charges? The woman realizes it's connected to the Scaled Dragon Society incident. She's floored. The man explains they're pinning him for inciting a rebellion. They're taking this to trial because he completely deleted the Scaled Dragon Society from existence. A voiceover warns this won't be an easy fight. Who knew an invitation to that society would end like this? He'll bounce back, the woman says. That's just the kind of savage Theo is. We see them watching through a doorway, while a voice begs for them to return. Inside the prisoner transport, Theo sits between guards, face totally blank. He lets out a quiet sigh. Been a minute since I was here, he thinks. Meanwhile, the carriage rolls up to the massive courthouse. Theo thinks, since I already destroyed them. Standing before the Scaled Dragon Society, yeah, prison is the least of his worries, a voice warns. This is a full-blown tribunal. Dragging the heir of Ragnar into court means one thing. Screech. The carriage halts. They're coming for his crown. They want to question his right to rule. A horse-drawn carriage rolls toward a massive hall. The architecture screams pure, unadulterated power. Inside, Theo calculates the odds. They're not just here to talk. They want to crush him, totally obliterate him. A guard flanks him, his face, a mask, unreadable as he strides down the hallway. But look closer, a wicked smirk tugs at his lips. This is exactly what he wanted. Clank clank. Armored boots, echo. Theo steps up to a set of colossal doors. The sheer scale screams authority. Slowly the gates groan open, flooding the space with blinding light. A voice booms from the shadows. Bring him in. Theo's eyes. They're practically glowing with hype. Oh yeah. If he's gonna unleash his master plan, this is the perfect stage. A seemingly endless aisle stretches out, leading into the unknown. But Theo, he's ready. Julius Ragnar, captain of the White Armor Dragon Cavalry, stands among the elite. The room is stacked with heavy hitters. Ed Troyven, Director of Central Intel, one of the legendary 4 of the 9 dragons guarding the clan, is watching. In his past life, the pressure would have suffocated him. Oza Ragnar, mistress of the Plum Blossom Palace, is here too. Wolfgang, the chief advisor, watches like a hawk. The name Ragnar practically vibrates off the walls. Someone speaks up, acknowledging Wolfgang. Chief advisor, been a while. Didn't expect to see him here. But Wolfgang skips the pleasantries. Enough small talk, he snaps. He reminds the room why they're here to answer for crimes. The clan. Byron, the Human Merchant Guild, the Red and White Mercenaries, even the Narcio clan, they're all screaming to cut ties with the main family because of this mess. Wolfgang glares. Can a bastard like you handle the fallout you caused? Theo listens, eyes locked on someone unseen. Emil Ragnar steps in. I've heard enough. Ed. Troyven nods. Theoretically, you're right. He trails off, a bad vibe creeping up his spine. Emil. Ragnar counters. The Ragnar family is strong, sure, but we aren't truly great. A warning echoes. Ignore the voices of your vassals and knights, and we will fall. Ed. Troyven insists. You can't rule the world through tyranny alone. Inside, his mind is racing. Noting the clan head's first wife, the sword dragon, the North's best blade, doesn't look hostile. And yet, a vision of a ruined landscape flashes before them. A grim reminder of what happens when you mess up. Ed Troyven. Hopes Emil Ragnar gets it, this punishment is necessary. Ed Troyven promises to keep that in mind. Then the verdict drops. 3 months, probation. Ed Troyven adds the kicker. The awakening ceremony is in just 2 months. Emil Ragnar explodes. How dare you answer back? The final ruling. He can join the awakening ceremony. Next year. Oh, and the 15 kids he injured, they're participating. 3. Ed Troyven grunts. The meeting rolls on. The speaker thinks, hey, not so bad. Because delaying the ceremony is a massive slap in the face for Theo. For the Rose Palace representative to carry that kind of shame. It gives the Camellia Palace the perfect excuse to crush the Rose Palace. Once the trap snaps shut, he's helpless. All he can do is take it. If he is dumb enough to appeal, they could just execute him. But Ed Troyven thinks he's not that stupid. Theo drops the bomb. I appeal. The room freezes. Ed Troyven sneers. You fool. Emil. Ragnar laughs. Your arrogance is boundless. But hey, makes our job easier. Ed Troyven asks. Do you even know what it means? To appeal. Theo replies, cool as ice. Of course. He knows this isn't something you solve with 3 months of probation. Ed Troyven shakes his head. It was just a slap on the wrist, kid. The demon dragon probably pulled strings within the mighty Ragnar clan, but appealing means. The air crackles. One word. Explodes in a blood-red speech bubble, sucking the air out of the room. WAR. He stands alone on the platform, a solitary figure against the world. His voice cuts through the silence. Deadly serious, but I have no intention of accepting even a slap on the wrist. The man wears a grim, self-satisfied smirk. He muses. In this world, history is written by the victors, and the truth is whatever the winner says it is. Personally, I'm just here for the payout. A holographic system window glitches into view. Entering main scenario. Meanwhile, the air is thick, choking on the metallic tang of blood and ash. Distant screams of combat fade out. He stands motionless in the center of the slaughter. A lone warrior cuts a silhouette against the burning skyline, his blade still dripping crimson from fresh kills. A silent testament to the brutality. A fallen enemy lies skewered nearby, a grisly reminder of the violence that just took place. The ground is a graveyard of shattered steel and broken armor. Heat waves shimmer off the earth, the lingering fever of a devastated clash. The warrior scans the wasteland, standing guard like a silent sentinel over the ruin. Victory hangs heavy in the atmosphere. The battlefield crackles with residual heat as Theo, shrouded in his cloak and hood, surveys the aftermath, casually chewing on a straw. A voice booms across the field. It's exactly as the young Lord Theo predicted. A knight stands tall amidst the wreckage, armor gleaming against the backdrop of the inferno. With a foe crushed at his feet, the knight commands the scene. Behind him, Theo watches impassively, framed by the dramatic fiery landscape. A disembodied voice cuts through the noise. The Troyven Camellia Palace is now finished. A sinister grin creeps across a man's face, eyes burning with malice. 3 shadowy figures lounge upon ornate thrones within a colossal hall, the weight of silent, deadly judgments filling the room. A solitary figure stands before a massive gate back, turned to us, contemplating the treacherous path ahead. His expression is a mask, but the silence screams volumes. A voice probes, did a minor escalation really push you into open war? The invisible speaker scoffs. Someone is beyond arrogant. The man with the braided hair asserts that this is a lesson he needs to teach. The voice questions the logic of settling this through a proxy battle. Usually when there's a massive power gap, the voice explains an appeal means deciding the winner and loser through total war. The voice continues, noting that in cases where full-scale war is impossible due to the power imbalance, each side sends a champion. The victor is decided by a one-on-one duel to the death. That is a proxy battle. The implication is obvious, the defendant's champion will naturally be Theo. Odds are high the plaintiff sends Axion. If that plays out, Theo's defeat is all but guaranteed. The eye patch-wearing man muses. Why make that choice? Does he have an ace up his sleeve? If he thinks Evelyn or I will step in to fight for him, he's in for a rude awakening. Per the rules, champions will be chosen, and the proxy battle commences in 1 week. Come again. Using the Demon Dragon or Evelyn as a proxy would be the obvious play. True, but knowing their egos, they won't do it. You'll have to fight this yourself, Theo Ragnar. I'm sending Axion. He'll teach you your place permanently. Theo's reply is chillingly calm. Sure. So, about the representatives. And here I thought you were the quiet type. A montage of faces flashes by, all glowing with intense crimson eyes. A close-up reveals a face twisted in pure shock. A heavy door creaks open. A figure with cascading black hair speaks up. Are you really capable of such cunning schemes? A voice thunders through the hall. You've changed since I last saw you, my son. A stern man with piercing, glowing red eyes descends the stairs. The caption reads, Clan Head Kyle Ragnar. The crowd instantly drops to their knees. A chant erupts. We greet the clan head. The submission to Kyle Ragnar is absolute. Apprentice swordsman Theo Ragnar bows to the incarnation of the great dragon god. Suddenly, a digital chime rings out. A blue window pops up in his face. New scenario quest path of the successor. Objective seize the Camellia Palace and uncover its secrets. This is the first main quest since the tutorial ended. He wonders, was that blue light related to this? It's been so chaotic he completely forgot about it. Theo tells himself. Focus. Now isn't the time to get distracted. He steels his nerves. The doors to the Camellia Palace swing wide, revealing Kyle Ragnar. Theo knows this is priority number 1. An insane variable just entered the game and his entire plan could go up in smoke. Theo wonders why his father is even here. Rise Kyle Ragnar commands, mentioning he heard about the situation, by pure chance on his way over. It seems you found yourself in a rather complicated position. I heard you invoked a proxy battle to settle the dispute. Theo remains silent. A deep, gravelly voice confirms. That is correct. A figure with a neatly trimmed gray beard steps forward, clutching a tome. Listen, with the way things are looking, jumping into this battle is going to be a logistical nightmare for you. Being your own champion, a hardened face, framed by a gray beard, glares down, judging every inch of him. Crimson eyes narrow into slits. He demands, who exactly were you planning to tag in to fight your battles? Zoom in on a sharp, blood-red pupil. The figure roars. This is a trial, a character with violet hair. Reels back in shock, electricity snapping around them like a whip. Hold up, is this? Standing in the massive great hall. A silhouette in a trench coat steps up. Someone to take my place. That person doesn't exist. He continues, I was naturally planning to handle this business personally. The man's scarlet gaze tightens, a flicker of mockery. Dancing on his lips. One intense red eye locks on, radiating pure grit. A lone figure. Dominates the room, jaw set. He stands his ground, dropping the mic. Even if you try to break me, I will never bow my head willingly. Suddenly, manic laughter rips through the corridors. Cackle, the armored titan bellows. Y'all hear that? That's my boy talking. That right there, that is the definition of a Ragnar. Hendon doubles down, claiming there's no better vibe check for a Ragnar. That attitude? Yeah, I'm liking that. Theo nods at the praise. But inside, he's plotting. This proxy war is bait. I ain't trying to throw hands right now. Guess I can keep it 100 then. Evelyn Remington's little project is the smoking gun for the Camellia Palace betrayal. With that intel, I can snag the victory without lifting a finger. So, I'm offering you a shot at the title of Ragnar Master right now. I, Kyle Ragnar. Kyle Ragnar steps up to the plate. The other character is shook. Scrap the trial. If you can manage to. Tank one single hit from me, I'll clear your name. Step up. Clanhead, you can't be serious. Hendon is panicking beside Kyle. The air is thick enough to cut with a knife. To test. His legendary strike against a rookie means he actually respects the opponent. If the kid survives, he officially gets the Clanhead stamp of approval. Theo faces a metaphorical fire-breathing dragon. I don't think that half-blood Theo can handle that heat. No way. But just in case he pulls a miracle, I gotta block him from getting on the boss's good side. How do these vassals have the guts to trash-talk his son's bloodline? Since the rule is a proxy battle, it would be. Kyle Ragnar's eyes are blazing infernos. Theo stone, cold silence, poker face on lock. Kyle watches the drama, that one visible eye glinting with twisted joy. A minion. Tries to brush off the boss's interest. Kyle shuts him down immediately. Nonsense. The clan head cuts the chatter, pressuring Theo for an answer. Tick-tock. Theo realizes his original plan is toast. A wicked grin creeps across his face. But hey, I love a plot twist. He admits the burden is heavy. Hand over heart, a disembodied voice asks, how does taking one punch compare to a whole proxy war against an army of vassals? The stern-faced man stares. Intently unreadable. Another voice claps back. You scared to act. Eyes. Glow crimson with bad intentions, a cruel smirk forming. I just want to express how unfair this trade is. Then he flips the script. Unfair, since the difficulty spiked. Shouldn't my reward go up too? He ends it with a cheeky "oh." The figure asks, "What are you getting at?" Theo goes silent in front of the towering giant, impossible to read. Two men, one massive hall, words unspoken. Zoom in on that sinister grin, eyes shining with dark amusement. A shocked face goes wide-eyed. The phrase, "the Camellia Palace," hangs heavy in the air. A dark-haired figure with piercing red eyes mulls it over. Like the words Camellia Palace are floating there. A close-up reveals white hair and intense purple eyes. Tears are streaming down a face, twisted in pure agony. Silence shattered by a mute scream. The severe-looking man with the beard and glasses snaps, "That brat. Is he insane making deals with the clan head?" Close-up on a face boiling with rage. Internal monologue screaming, "This mixed-blood trash doesn't know his place." A voice booms from the shadows laying down the law. A deal only works when both sides stand on equal ground. Your arrogance is going to be the death of you. A cold final. Fine cuts the air. In the cavernous hall, two silhouettes stand apart, David facing Goliath. The towering figure raises an eyebrow in shock, but the stern man doesn't blink. If you seriously want the throne, if you want to be the successor, you're going to need at least this much guts. He turns eyes narrowing. Got a problem with that? Heavenly Dragon, a figure, steps forward. Question your judgment. I wouldn't dare. The command drops instantly. Good. Set the stage. Now. Sunbeams slice through the dust in the massive hall. A lone figure stands there, boots clicking rhythmically against the cold stone floor. A man strides forward, face hidden in shadow. The camera zooms in tight. His expression is stone cold, etched with pure grit. Crimson eyes burning from the dark, hinting at a monster waiting to be unleashed. The shot pans wide, taking in the insane architecture, screaming wealth and power. In the background, three blurred figures shift like ghosts, watching and waiting. The frame is cluttered with complex gears and structures. This isn't just a room, it's a death trap waiting to spring. You can practically taste the frustration. The trap meant to crush Theo. It just backfired hard. A voice rings out in his head. Don't sweat it. He's walking right into the slaughterhouse. Even if that brat leveled up a bit, there's zero chance he survives a single hit from the clan head. That's a feat that would crush even Da, top-tier swordsman. Theo is dead meat. He has to die here. Theo smirks internally. He knows exactly what the enemy is plotting. The gray-haired dude watches from the sidelines thinking, "Sorry kid, hate to break it to you, but this isn't going to play out like you think." Why? Because Theo's got a nasty little reward from the tutorial. The observer narrows his eyes. Did Theo chug an elixir when no one was looking? Whatever. Even if he roided up, gaining that much power that fast is impossible. He strokes his beard, calculating. But Theo, he doesn't give a damn. How the old man got strong. The clan head barks, "You warmed up yet?" Swing steel leaves the scabbard. The man snarls. "Usually I'd bring out the heavy artillery, but since you're still a manaless scrub, this rusty piece of junk will do." The air distorts. Crimson aura flares up around him like a bonfire. "All right then," he growls. The red energy intensifies. He's drowning in red mana now. A savage grin splits his face, eyes gleaming with bloodlust. "Let's get this party started." That crimson aura explodes, crackling with raw, unfiltered power. A voice rings out, genuinely shocked. "I'm shocked you're not on your knees already." Theo's eyes glow with new juice, a cocky smirk tugging at his mouth. "You bet. The power-up is real." His strength stat didn't just go up, it nearly tripled. That's the payout for crushing the tutorial. He flashes back to the glowing XP elixir. Theo grins as the potion's magic floods his veins, rewriting his DNA. 5 levels gained instantly. He dumped every single point straight into strength. Theo Ragnar feels the chains break. He's leaving average in the dust and stepping into legendary. Strength stat, a solid 52. With muscles like steel, Theo calculates the odds. Blocking one hit from his old man. Yeah, he can take it. The blade screams down a silver streak, cutting through the red mist. Theo plants his feet. Eyes locked. Focus dialed to 11, tracking the trajectory. The world slows to a crawl. Heartbeat. Breath. Every muscle fiber tightens like a coiled spring. He braces for impact. The pressure of the incoming attack is heavy enough to crush bones. Clang. The impact sends a shockwave rippling through the hall. Theo grips his hilt until his knuckles turn white, dead set on tanking the hit. Ed Troiven's eyes narrow, a crimson glimmer flaring deep within his pupils. The heavenly dragon's vision snaps into focus. I see it. Red lightning sparks and jumps, charging up the kill shot. Then boom, pure energy detonates, unleashing a tsunami of destruction. Debris flies. Dust chokes the air, blinding everything. The floor plates groan and shudder under the insane pressure. Ed Troiven freezes for a split second, a heartbeat of silence, before he unleashes hell. Theo digs in, gripping his weapon like a lifeline. A twisted, sadistic grin creeps across Ed Troiven's face. Been a long time since I felt this. His blade glints, a cold promise of death. Glass shatters everywhere. Theo stands his ground. A voice booms over the chaos. Finally, a sun worth a damn. Trial over. Ding. The system screen pops up. Sudden quest cleared. Kyle Ragnar's one-hit kill. New loot. Unlocked authority. A mysterious blue key materializes in his inventory. Cut to black. Fade in. Theo's out cold in a luxury suite. He groans, eyelids fluttering open. One day later. Theo blinks, confused. Where the hell? A voice cuts in. About time you woke up, Sleeping Beauty. A woman looms over him. I blacked out. Standing up, Theo gasps, reeling. A redhead grips his hand, tight panic written all over her face. Hey, breathe, he soothes her. But as his eyes snap open, the confusion hits. Where the hell is he? Cut to a different location. A cold voice drops a heavy order from the clan head. A silhouette stands by the window, watching the distant room where Theo rests like a hawk. Eye patch guy spills the intel axion, and the director just abandoned their posts. Evelyn and Theo lock eyes, silent communication. Evelyn gives a sharp nod, confirmed. Eye patch smirks as a location tag pops up above them. Welcome to Camellia Palace. Scenario updated. Suddenly, that familiar blue system interface flashes the main quest, seize Camellia Palace, and unlock its dark secret. Current location, Stage 1. Secret progress 0 out of 1. The palace gardens are looking lush, exploding with greenery and pure white blooms. Crunch. A high heel grinds gravel into dust. Emil's face twists in rage as she absolutely loses it, screaming about why she, the legit owner, is being evicted from her own turf. She is not having it. They try to tell Emil to chill out. Meanwhile, shadows in the hallway are practically begging someone off-screen for mercy. Axion's caught whispering with another guy, audio muted. Suddenly, Theo Rahan's eyes ignite with a sinister glow as the hit order drops. Eliminate Theo Rahan. The plan, sever his arm during the awakening ceremony. But a second voice overrules it cold. Forget the arm, bring me his head. The hunt is on. Bring me his head. Theo Rahan's expression is pure ice, his gaze burning with an unearthly glow. The Camellia Palace towers above a silent titan. This wasn't the plan, but things just took a wild turn. A way better outcome, actually. Theo snagged the palace without even playing his ace card. Bonus round, he scored a second authority. He swipes open his inventory, bathing the room in a digital azure glow. A blue key materializes. Theo takes a crunch out of an apple. Is this thing actually useful, he wonders. He taps the icon. Item class MISC. Effect dungeon breach. Requirement matching gate. So this key is definitely. Before he finishes, a door blasts open with a blinding cobalt flash. He holds the key aloft. A deep resonance hums through his bones, it's calling to this place. The keyhole pulses with a soft, ghostly shimmer, just begging for the key. Click. Perfect fit. Theo stands at the threshold as raw alien energy spills out. Static crackles across the frame. What the? Theo frowns. A cavern hidden inside a palace room. Gotta be a hidden quest, he decides. Whatever it is, I'm clearing it. Can't pass up on double XP. Alright, bet. Theo nods. Better gear up first. A massive structure looms in the UI. The screen flashes. A lineup of lethal blades, each shimmering with potential. Okay, let's see what we're working with. Sword and shield equipped Theo dives into the abyss. The dungeon sprawls out ahead. A jagged path of shadow and stone. Suddenly, a massive wolf with fur like crushed ice stalks out of the dark. A wolf. A big one too. Definitely demonic beast here. The monster charges Crimson Eyes, blazing with savage hunger. Reflexes kicking in. Theo snaps his shield up. Metal screams under the impact. He braces hard, locking his stance. The sheer weight crushes against him. Razor claws screech across the surface, desperate to shred through. His guard. Theo grits his teeth, a silent promise hardening in his mind. He will not be overpowered. The beast lunges again, a blur of frost and fangs aiming for the jugular. Blade raised, Theo meets the onslaught head-on. A guttural roar. Tears from the wolf's throat shaking the cavern walls. Theo swings his steel, singing through the air. The sword paints a lethal silver arc, targeting the beast's flank. Bam! The shield tanks another hit, deflecting the relentless assault. It's a stalemate, a desperate dance of steel and teeth in the dungeon's gut. Theo pushes the offensive. His blade becomes a blur, but the hide is like iron armor. Half-hearted swings won't even scratch this. Nightmare. It stands its ground, radiating power. This thing might rival the monsters from the demonic sea beyond the north wall. That explains the insane durability. This won't be a walk in the park. The wolf pounces, claws extended, ready to eviscerate. Theo sidesteps by a hair, movements crisp and lethal. If I can just copy that beam. Flashback, he remembers facing Father's one strike. That dazzling, overwhelming power. Blinding light floods his mind, a beacon in the dark. Pure white arc. Theo coils his muscles, sword and shield aligned. He unleashes it. A radiant beam of destruction slams into the demonic wolf. Direct hit. The beast stumbles back. Theo clicks his tongue. Guess copying it perfectly isn't that simple. One strike, short for instant death, he winds up for the finisher. The secret, pouring every ounce of soul into a single swing. Focus. Channel the speed arts Evelyn drilled into me. Impact. The blade drives down, shearing through muscle and bone. Crimson blood. Sprays the steel, staining the snowy floor red. A deafening howl of agony rips through the forest. The blood-slicked sword remains buried in the beast. A massive paw twitches on the cold ground. The monster's face twists in pain, red eyes fading, but still hateful. Good. Theo stares down cold as stone. Good, he whispers, gripping the hilt until his knuckles turn white. Running on fumes, the wolf is battered but far from broken, locking eyes with Theo as white puffs of breath vanish into the freezing air. A surge of grit floods his system. I got this. Flash forward 2 months later. Training ground, number 4. The air is crisp, the sky, a piercing electric blue. Theo's partner notices the crowd getting thicker. Nearby, the silver-haired guy starts getting nervous, suggesting they bounce to a different field. By now, the rumor mill is on fire. Word is the clan head taught Theo a single legendary strike, and everybody wants a piece of him. A blonde guy steps up greeting the others, calling them nothing but lapdogs. Blonde guy demands to know where Theo is hiding. Henry Morris, the Plum Blossom Palace apprentice, has been ghosting training for 2 months. One of the guys figures the coward probably skipped town after his fake hype story got leaked. That crossed a line. Silverhair looks like he swallowed a lemon. The blonde guy keeps pushing. He claims the whole thing's a scam since he won the trial, but nobody actually saw it go down, so he must have been capping hard. Henry comes charging at the group. Sybil, face twisted in pure rage, screams, "How dare a total loser like you!" A silent, menacing mob starts to form. In the background, the tension is loud enough to hear. A lone figure stands locked in sword, catching the light. A faint, silent promise of violence hanging in the ether. Sybil, voice dripping with venom, keeps roasting them. "Your ugly trash faces. You guys are zero compared to the young master." A calm voice cuts Sybil off. "You, of all people, really shouldn't be trash-talking anyone's looks." The glint of steel flashes as a hand grips a sword hilt. Heavy anticipation chokes the air. Sybil, totally unfazed, snaps back. Whatever, never liked how these morons kept coming here to start drama, but now they have the guts to diss young Master Theo. The command drops. "Draw your blades, A." Chorus of metallic shings rings out as steel is bared. The declaration hangs heavy, loaded with the promise of a bloodbath. This is war. The speaker doesn't let up. These quitter losers must really have a death wish. A serpentine tail, glowing with an ethereal blue shine, coils through a field of stars. A shockwave ripples through the gathered warriors, their faces twisted in total disbelief. The warriors stand their ground, swords raised high, primed to unleash hell on the incoming enemy. One guy wonders out loud how this is even possible, while another shouts the name Ray. The name Ray Ragnar echoes like thunder. Sybil stays quiet. The text card drops. One of the Northern Four Dogs, the Ice Sword, Ray Ragnar. Someone laughs loudly. A figure wonders how they could be left out of the fun. A massive dude stands there with a sword the size of a door. The text identifies another. Of the Northern Four Dogs, the Black Bear Hulkus Ranky. Someone notes that even Ranky pulled up, confirming 2 of the 4 dogs are present. Hulkus Ranky remarks that it's just the 2 of them. He asks where the Lightning Tiger is while another figure apologizes. Someone yells, asking if they're deaf, and repeats the question about the Lightning Tiger. A hulking warrior with muscles like steel cables grips a massive blade ready to let loose. A woman stands, unshakable inside the master's training ground, her resolve carved from ice. A statement echoes out. Is someone here to challenge Theo Ragnar? Deep in the bowels of a cave, a figure stands in, silhouette against the falling snow. Sweat and tears track down his face, every drop proof of the grind. A sword hangs at his hip, a silent vow of battles to come. A digital chime rings out, "Level up." The cave stretches before him, a path shrouded in shadow. The system message repeats a constant reminder of his power. Spiking, "You leveled up again and again." The words flash neon before his eyes. "Level up. New achievement unlocked. You hunted 170 demonic beasts." The air is thick with the stench of ozone and copper. Theo Ragnar sits on top of a massive slaughtered beast, its dead eyes staring into the darkening sky. A close-up shows the exhaustion etched into Theo's bones, his dark hair matted with sweat and grime. The floor is a carpet of demon corpses, their forms twisted and grotesque in death. Swords lie scattered across the carnage, stained crimson. A gaping maw, filled with rows of razor-sharp teeth, is all that's left of one fallen creature. The air vibrates with the silence of the grave. The cork pops from a glass vial, releasing a faint medicinal scent. Theo tilts the potion back, the liquid glugging as it slides down his throat. The metallic tang of the cure lingers on his tongue. He lets out a heavy breath, popping that beginner potion. Boom, health bar restores 10 points, and those wounds close right up. The early game was a total nightmare, but grinding through piles of demon beast corpses, yeah, that made leveling up way easier. Theo takes a second to look back. The cave floor is literally painted in blood, a gruesome receipt of his progress. Crazy how fast time flies. 2 months have already vanished. His gaze hardens with pure determination. Suddenly, a low, gut-wrenching growl rumbles from the shadows. You can feel that sound vibrating right through your bones. That vibe, the boss is definitely rolling up. Time to hit the 5th floor. His boots clack against the stone steps, the noise instantly swallowed by the heavy, suffocating silence of the dungeon. Just the echo of his own stride. He checks his blade. Useless, he thinks. This thing is cooked. Teo steps up to a glowing blue interface embedded right into the rock wall. He stares down at the sword. It was a gift from his mom. Now, it's the only piece of home he has left in this hellhole. Flashback to the birthday gift, that ceremonial blade. He remembers the drama, the beef with his mom right before the awakening ceremony kicked off. Back then, he just tossed it into the corner of his room like garbage. Let it sit there and rust. Ungrateful, right? But looking at it now with veteran eyes, Teo realizes he was blind. This isn't junk, it's forged from legit white snow steel. High-tier stuff. The metal hums. Memory unlocked, his mom surprising him at midnight, burying him in presents before he could even blink. But the awakening ceremony was looming over them like a dark cloud. In the memory, Teo bumps into 2 shady figures. I don't have time for birthday toys, he'd thought. He acted like he knew everything about gear, walking around with that unearned arrogance. A woman's voice cuts in telling someone to get lost. It doesn't matter what you do, you can't change your bloodline. Brutal. Teo snaps back to reality. Never again. He won't repeat the mistakes of his past life. He pushes forward onto the ice, then freezes. A cold bead of sweat trickles down his temple. Something's here. Massive claws, sharp as obsidian, scrape against the frozen ground. A monstrous snout, caked in frost, puffs out a cloud of freezing air. This isn't just a beast, it's a nightmare. Armored scales glow with an eerie supernatural blue light. Teo cranes his neck up, eyes wide. The thing is absolutely colossal. A dragon. Wait, hold up. He scans it. Okay, lucky break. It's just a lesser drake. It's waiting for him. Lore says jaguars descended from dragons, and the final boss here is definitely draconic. Teo draws his blade. Coincidence? I think not. He doesn't have the full picture yet, but one thing is crystal clear. He has to drop this oversized lizard to clear the mission. Teo raises his steel stance locked. Scenario mission: capture Camellia Palace and crack its secret code. The palace is at 1-1, but the secret lies at 0-1. And the dungeon beasts, they're swarming at 1171. Can he actually clap this thing? It's still dragonkin. Screw it. Teo decides to risk it all on a single flash strike. He thinks back to the endless grind, slaughtering dire wolves for hours. Time to see if that training actually paid off. The lesser drake, already scarred from past battles, stares him down with pure malice. It wants blood. It might not be on its daddy's level, but it's tough. Teo channels his inner power. Unleash Dragon Flash. The skill erupts. A torrent of blue energy blasts straight at the drake. With the dragon heart pumping at max capacity, this has to hurt. Boom, direct hit blood sprays into the air like a fountain. Crimson droplets rain down, turning the cave floor into a slaughterhouse. The drake screams a deafening roar as its jaws unhinge, coughing up a river of blood. That's gotta sting. Teo feels a rush of relief. It actually worked. The massive beast wobbles, its giant frame tilting like a falling tower. Sword still gripped tight, Teo watches the takedown. The drake slams into the dirt, the impact shaking the entire cavern to its core. He was aiming to brain the thing with that shot, but damn. The blade didn't dig deep enough. Not a one-shot kill. But he sees an opening. His blade begins to glow. Time to pull out the secret sauce. Secret technique gestures footwork. He thinks I got this. He winds up for the follow-up combo. Fake it out with a basic attack, then go for the crit spot. But the drake's fear aura is dominating the battlefield. Teo readies up, but the status effect hits hard. Fear debuff, movement speed slashed by 10%. Teo curses his heavy limbs. He lunges anyway, a crimson aura blazing around his legs as he closes the gap on the beast. The air literally crackles with displaced energy. He's moving with blinding speed, now defying the debuff. Strike Teo slashes his blade, leaving a sparkling trail of destruction in its wake. It's beautiful and deadly. The sonic boom of his movement echoes through the cave. That's raw power right there. He's not holding back. He presses the attack every step, landing with the force of a thunderclap. Rocks crumble from the ceiling as the fight tears the cave apart. The stone groans under the stress. Teo grits his teeth. There's a reason this thing is the boss. It's a tank. He knows he can't let this drag on. Stamina is key. Another impact reverberates a deafening roar that shakes the world. The cavern shakes to its core, rocking the very foundations. He steels his nerves, zeroing in on the weak point. Make it quick, make it count. The lesser drake unhinges its massive jaws, flashing rows of nightmare-fueled teeth sharp enough to slice the air. And a dragon's fatal flaw is... boom. The final strike connects thundering through the hollows as the battle hits its fever pitch. Those lesser drake scales shimmer impenetrable armor against any basic attack. But he plummets. straight toward the beast blade tip aligned with lethal precision. Steel meets flesh drilling, right into the reverse scale. Crack. The reverse scale shatters under the sheer force. Shockwaves ripple through the dragon's massive frame. The blast sends tremors ripping through the air. Teo stands his ground blade, still buried deep in the beast's hide. The dragon's face twists in pure agony and rage. Bloodied but victorious, Teo shouts. It worked. A surge of raw energy explodes outward. The impact resonates with devastating power. The dragon's eyes go wide, total disbelief, as the fatal blow takes its toll. Bathed in blood and fury, the warrior stands defiant. Meanwhile, King Rahan gets cornered by his own squad. What are you even saying, they demand. King Rahan declares Teo Rahan has to go through me first. A blue-haired woman stands at his side. Teo's face twists in rage as the memory hits. That was 3 years ago. Teo's fury boils over. His skills have leveled up every single day. 3 years, that's more than enough time. To close the gap. The blue-haired woman watches, reading nothing on his face. Teo clenches his fist. Fine, let's run it back. Another duel. A manic grin stretches across Teo's face. Winner takes on Teo Rahan. Blue hair is locked, and loaded blade gleaming. One day, Teo turns his back, face hidden in shadow. Two figures watch the drama unfold. What the hell is going on? One asks. No clue, the other replies, but I'm terrified. A figure walks off into the unknown. Teeth-gritted scar slashing across his cheek, he's bracing for whatever comes next. A voice thunders, dripping with anticipation. So you finally made it, Teo Rahan. The skill. Fear of the lesser drake blankets the battlefield. The beast's lifeless eyes stare into nothingness. Massive head resting on the cold ground. The camera zooms in, capturing the intricate details of the drake's armored plating. Its jaws hang slack, exposing those rows of razor-sharp fangs. A thick purple tongue lolls out. Teo stands atop the fallen titan sword loose in his grip. The system flashes. A congratulations for successfully hunting the lesser drake. He thinks to himself, recalling the drake's final thrashing moments. I seriously thought I was a goner there. Teo scans the massive corpse. Good thing it wore itself out. That scale really is the weak spot. Battered and dropping to one knee, he catches his breath. Ping system notification. It displays lesser drake's tooth, a crafting material that boosts durability. Perfect for forging weapons. Another pop-up appears, this time detailing the lesser drake's claw. An enhancement mat that cranks up sharpness. Teo eyes the loot. He figures he should use them to repair his blade, which is totally wrecked. He remembers this was his mom's sword, and hunting that, Drake really did a number on it. Suddenly, a new system alert skill. Obtained. Fear of the lesser drake. Teo blinks surprised. A skill drop. The system pulls up the stats. Fear of the lesser drake rank. D+. It unleashes dragon-killing intent, dominating anyone nearby, and striking fear into targets weaker than the user. Dragon-killing intent. He remembers hearing that only the chosen ones can wield that kind of power. Teo grips his hilt. Never thought he'd get a shot at this. He extends his hands. A holo display projects his sword and the drake mats. But even with this, Teo isn't sure if it'll be enough against Rahan. A voice echoes warning that this place is crawling with powerhouses. A figure steps out from the deep shadows of the cave. Ping system message, Camellia Palace dungeon cleared. Teo stands before an ornate door. Mission completion confirmed. The system offers. Congratulations for beating mission scenario number 1. For clearing the stage, Teo gets this reward. A glowing orb sits in his palm. The system IDs it as a nest compass, a type of artifact that points the user straight to the nest. Teo studies it. What the heck is this? Linked to the next quest, he slams his fist into the holo screen, the sound ringing through the silent room. Teo makes a call. I should just head back to my room and crash. Man, I'm absolutely drained. He's stumbling down the endless hallway looking totally out of it. Suddenly, Evelyn Nerival sprints toward him, panic written all over her face. Is it an emergency? Evelyn screams, oh my god, look at you. Where have you even been? What? Theo shrugs it off. Nowhere special, honestly. What's the drama? Did you get a notification or something? Yeah, there is a massive brawl going down at training ground number 4 right now. He glances over. Confusion hits him like, say what? Moments later, total chaos erupts, two figures locked in a death match. They are trading blows inside a tornado of crimson energy. You can literally see the desperation etched on the fighter's face. Lit up by the blood-red glow, one guy gets absolutely swallowed by the energy blast. This is the brutal result of the clash. Everything hangs by a thread as a skill activates. The terrifying aura of the inferior drake floods the battlefield. A single red eye glows with pure evil intent. 3 guys stand there drenched in blood, faces twisted in agony and shock. A red-headed warrior scans the carnage looking grim. Then a creepy grin slowly spreads across his face. He is radiating overwhelming killer vibes. Laughing like a total maniac, the redhead swings his massive sword down. A figure steps out silhouetted against the light. The red-headed warrior roars. You are mine, Theo Ragnar. Let's test that strength of yours. The blade comes crashing down, dragging a tail of purple energy behind it. That purple aura, it spikes in intensity as the sword plummets. The blade closes in a blur of speed and lethal intent. The red-haired warrior slams his sword down with god-tier force. Theo Ragnar meets the strike head-on, sparks flying as steel crashes against steel. Evelyn Nerival stands by Theo's side, eyes glued to the unfolding madness. Holkus Ranky puts his weight into the slash, claiming the hit. Theo pauses, wondering if that attack was just too easy to deflect. He processes the situation instantly. Theo is actually shocked he parried that so easily. But Holkus Ranky isn't done yet. His sword becomes a blur. Holkus Ranky refuses to take the L. The narration tags this attacker as the Black Bear. That is Holkus Ranky, famously known as the weakest link among the 4 dogs of the North. Why? Because his kit wasn't complete. And let's be real, he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. Holkus's sword flares with a menacing red aura. It looks terrifying as he presses the attack. Holkus dares his opponent to try blocking this next strike. The text highlights the defender Theo Ragnar. As a member of the Ragnar clan, he has never been gapped in raw strength. And yet against Holkus's blade, the swords collide with a deafening boom sparks, showering the area as the impact ripples out. Through the air, he parries the blow, the blade practically singing as he redirects the incoming attack. The clang of steel echoes a testament to the raw power being traded between these two beasts. A blinding flash erupts, totally obscuring the battlefield for a split second. Theo Ragnar follows up with a lightning-fast kick, aiming to scramble his opponent's brain. Theo Ragnar thinks to himself, is he seriously getting stopped by me? I can even counterattack. Theo Ragnar's stats pop up in his vision. The grind to level up was actually worth it. Holkus Ranky coughs violently, blood spraying from his mouth. Holkus Ranky's face is twisted in pure agony and shock. Theo Ragnar stands triumphant over the fallen Holkus. Holkus's eyes are wide with disbelief as he stares up at Theo Ragnar. Theo reflects, I ended up using my full strength to swing without realizing it. Good thing it was Holkus. The man watches stunned. Holkus Ranky, famous for his tanky endurance, was on the receiving end, but he just passed out cold. A wave of cheers erupts. Theo Ragnar remains standing, his sword held low. The crowd roars. Young Master Theo defeated the Black Bear. He took down one of the 4 dogs with a single hit. Another guy shouts, wait a second. Is Ranky still alive and kicking? The sword is shattered. The crowd murmurs in total confusion. Theo Ragnar stares down at the broken blade. The sword Mom gave me. His fist clenches in frustration. As expected of young Master Theo, he even snapped his sword in a single strike. Someone asks, why are you so hyped about that? 2 armored figures stand side by side watching the scene. The figures' eyes glow an ominous red. Snow drifts down against a dark sky. Bare feet stand freezing in the snow. A figure in a green coat asks, who are you? The green-coated figure looks down at a kid with light blue hair. The figure asks, why are you walking out in this freeze like that? Aren't you cold? No. The black-haired figure offers, how about I put this on you? The figure wraps a red scarf around the kid's shoulders, then thinks, you still look freezing. That's not gonna work. The figure looks at the kid blowing a warm puff of air. Let's head to my place for now. The figure smiles warmly at the kid. The figure is now closer to the child. I'll get you home the second the snow clears. Fade to black. Scene shift. Cut to a stunner with flowing icy blue hair standing outside a massive building. Zoom in on the luxe fur lining of her coat. A knight in full plate mail stands guard in the courtyard as she glides closer. Ray Ragnar snaps his head up. Surprise hits him, then morphs into a confident grin. Ray Ragnar smirks. Cut to later that night at the Camellia Palace. The place is looming large, a total flex of architectural power. Ray Ragnar, now rocking a goofy party hat, sits at the head of the table. A banner screams, congrats on the title Illustrious Tiger. The squad is hyping up the young master. The spread is insane, a feast fit for a king. Alright, for bagging the Illustrious Tiger title, you've grinded so hard so long. A voice echoes. Just gotta keep that momentum rolling until the awakening ceremony. You got this. A woman slides a massive plate forward. My son, you gotta try this abalone. These bad boys are caught in super limited batches from the Adria Sea, slow roasted in butter sourced exclusively from farms near the Fua Mountains. Ray nods slowly. Mother. He looks up at her, eyes widening just a bit. Mother, oh, and try this. It's chicken fed strictly on acorns from the western Laziria Desert, prepped at the perfect age and stewed with ginseng, imported all the way from Joseon in the Far East. She holds out a spoon, beaming with warmth. Cut to elsewhere. Theo Ragnar stands gripping a blade. His red eyes glow in the gloom. He gives a subtle nod. His mom watches. It's delicious, mother, he says, sitting down, face like a stone mask. The setting sun blazes through the window behind him. She gasps, hand flying to her mouth in total shock, while the guy next to her just stares. A sword lies on the table between them, heavy with unspoken tension. The training blade. He apologizes, dropping the bomb that the birthday sword she gifted him is busted. Theo looks shaken. A literal question mark pops up over the couple as they stare at the shattered steel. It's in pieces. His mom demands to know if it was made of ebony. Deer wood from the South Gaia jungle. She screams that it was a total scam since the seller claimed only rare top-tier mats were used. If that guy wasn't lying, this thing shouldn't have snapped like a twig. Theo looks downcast, explaining that bone deer is this weird plant that feeds on iron. It's super rare, because it's got the flex of wood, but hits as hard as steel. Theo thinks, I knew it was solid, but I didn't realize it was S-tier, valuable. He wonders where she even scored it. His mom shakes her head. This won't do. She's gonna go demand answers. Next time he better get a flawless blade for my son. Theo tries to chill her out. It's fine, really. I can just use a spare. Mom shuts that down. Absolutely not. Cut. To them. Arriving at. The vibe is serious. Real value needs real attention. With the awakening ceremony, less than 7 days away, Theo insists he can't show up looking scrubby with a busted weapon. Since they're on the topic, Mom says, let's go, now. Someone asks where the heck they're going. Only the best workshop in all of Vintera. Cue the sign Basque Workshop. Inside, it's packed, with blacksmiths hammering away. Basque Workshop is legendary, one of the big 3 weapon manufacturers in Vintera. It's huge. It's famous for being massive, basically a factory. But wait, there's more. A figure stands there gripping a weapon. Someone flagged special rank by Intel. A blacksmith holding the Master Artisan title. A title shared by only 2 other Ragnars. Also known as the Elf of Capitalism Incarnate Demon Artisan Curson. Well, look who it is. Can't believe I'm seeing this tycoon. How does Mom know the demon artisan? Click. Clack. Mom's heels echo as she steps up to Curson. Nearby, Theo's eyes glow red, wondering what the hell is going on. Mother. Mom speaks up. I'm sorry, valued customer, but our relationship as mother and daughter ended the day you chose. Theo's brain freezes. I thought Mom was an orphan with 0 family left. Are you telling me High Elf Curson is her mom? Theo's eyes go wide. Realization hits. Wait. Does that make me a quarter elf? That explains why I'm so ridiculously good-looking, Kirsan asks. So what brings our dear client here after ghosting us forever? Mom holds out the blade. I'm here to return a defective product. A little creature with specs, asks defective Curson. He's speechless, but has the audacity to ask how Cecilia could call the blade trash. Curson's eye twitches in disbelief. Theo is still reeling from the bombshell revelation he's part elf. He studies the blade, brow furrowed. Who wielded this? Curson demands. Cecilia snaps. My son, obviously. Who else? That kid. Curson glances sideways. The one standing behind you. Cecilia's voice drops an octave ice cold. Watch your tone. He's the prodigy who's gonna rule Ragnar, she declares. Theo Ragnar, of the Camellia Palace. An honor to meet the legendary master of the Basque Workshop. She takes the blade, eyeing it like a hawk. Yeah, I've heard the hype. You raised him right. Anyway, back to business. Was it actually you who? Cecilia cuts in. That's right. The workshop master grunts. See, what did I tell you? It was defective. A voice booms through the hall. Follow me inside. The interior is massive, dripping with wealth. Kirsten asks Mom, what's your connection to the demon artisan? Cecilia doesn't blink. Exactly what you just heard. A dead forge stands silent, fires long extinguished. Evelyn Narival whispers to Theo Ragnar. So is she actually your mother? Theo shoots back. You wouldn't know. I don't exactly broadcast my past. Evelyn thinks. Only known him for 6 months though. Theo's mind races. Is she my mother? The foster mom who raised me? Or is she just her foster mother? It's complicated. Curson is obsessed with beauty. Cecilia muses jewels, music theater, even people. She must have really liked her back then, Cecilia reflects. But dwelling on the past is useless. The other woman scoffs. She bets Cecilia didn't see it that way. She wonders how she ever managed to leave this place. That is, she walked out on her own terms, claiming she'd become the wife of the Ragnar clan head. Cecilia's face steals over a flicker of agony in her eyes. Would she really march into that hellhole of her own free will? What a fool she was. It's a miracle she survived this long. The clan head was just too damn handsome. So elegant, so powerful, and he adored her. But after running away like that, she came crawling back last year, begging for a sword for her son. I've never seen such a lack of shame, Curson thinks. Geez, why say that in front of my kid? Am I wrong? Though, the woman snaps. She's never seen Cecilia clap back like this. She realizes she never actually knew anything about her mother. In her past life, she wonders if she was just too obsessed with the clan, too consumed by it. Plus, the demon artisan clearly had a soft spot for Cecilia. So why didn't she help in the last timeline? Thud, thud. The sound of boots echoes. They've arrived. This is her sanctuary, the main office. One guy asks why she dragged them this deep into the complex. Curson orders Cecilia to wait outside, adding, you better craft me a masterpiece to make up for this. A heavy knock reverberates. A voice hollers, "Is that Cecilia?" The words mother and son hang in the air. The two figures stand in the room. Cecilia decides to cut the crap and ask straight up. She asks if they have the artifact. The camera zooms in tight on a hand clutching a relic of the primordial dragon. Theo looks floored. The primordial dragon, he questions. The ancestor of the guardian dragon that protects our clan. The voice continues mentioning the old legend that their progenitor scattered the primordial dragon's treasures across Winterra for the Ragnar descendants. Cecilia plays dumb. It's just a fairy tale. Theo stares daggers at her. Cecilia gasps, shifting gears. "How did your sword end up in such bad shape?" She asks for the repair bill, apologizing profusely. Theo ignores the money, wondering why she brought up the relic. Then he tells her to drop it. "It'd be faster if I just showed you." His hand grazes the cold metal. The elf-eared woman reaches out, pausing just inches from the massive chains binding a dark metal coffin. "What do you see?" Cecilia asks. Theo's gaze locks on, his eyes flaring with inner light. The coffin pulses with a faint blue aura. Theo recognizes that glow instantly. It's the same energy he saw at the Camellia Palace dungeon. Cecilia admits, "I don't see or feel a thing." The elf woman studies the coffin. Going by his reaction, Cecilia notes he definitely sees something we don't. Theo stands before the sarcophagus. Text flashes on screen. Primordial dragon relic. Long ago, in the age of myths, the dragon ripped out one of its own fangs to forge a blade. A visual of a monstrous dragon with glowing eyes fills the frame. Razor-sharp details reveal the truth. This beast is the legendary white moonlight blade. The steel pulses, its dark metal catching an ethereal glow. A disembodied voice booms through the chamber promising ownership to anyone bold enough to shatter the case's seal and claim the weapon. Teo's eyes go wide, shock flashing across his face. But there's a catch. The voice warns that failure means death. A silhouette peers down, expression hidden behind thick goggles. The figure asks if he's ready to roll the dice. Teo smirks, crimson eyes blazing with pure ambition. Inner monologue screaming, "That blade is mine. It's the infamous white moonlight blade. The signature weapon of the Black Snow Leader, one of the 9 dragons. The entity known as the Black Dragon stands ominous against a backdrop of falling snow. Barely anyone knew what this blade looked like, mostly because everyone who laid eyes on it ended up 6 feet under. A figure lies crumpled on the ground, bloodied and totally defeated. Did the sword vanish or die out? The figure stares at the horizon, lost in thought, asking if Teo can actually see the thing. By sheer twisted luck, he caught a glimpse of the white moonlight blade's true form. He wonders why the Black Dragon spared him, realizing this is a massive complication. What's the next move? The Black Dragon's white moonlight blade is right here, a legit relic of the primordial dragon. 4 years later, he finally tracked down the Black Dragon. Kursan had held onto the blade that entire time. A voice asks if anyone wants to step up. Teo decides he needs to secure this asset no matter the cost. "That sword belongs to me." Is this vibe similar to the Camellia Palace? If so, this blue key is the answer. A blue key flashes into view. He questions the item before jamming it straight into the lock. The key turns with a click. Instantly, a massive energy wave swallows the world, crackling with raw, unbridled power. He gasps, sharp and loud as the light blinds him. The energy drags him downward, drowning him in a pool of shimmering darkness. What is going on?" he shouts, voice dripping with confusion and fear. Vertigo hits hard, blurring the edges of reality. He screams again, his voice bouncing off the warped space. Crimson streaks slash across his vision, painting the void in violent shades. His mind races to make sense of the chaos. "Where am I?" he whispers. Looming ahead is the Rose Palace, its silhouette, a haunting reminder of a forgotten past. Why? Why the hell am I back here? He questions the void. Then realization hits. Oh. 2 figures stand stark. Against a burning sky, one wielding a glowing blade. The other figure is already down, a pool of blood spreading beneath them. He had totally blocked this out. That moment made him incredibly weak. He needed more. Power. Power to defeat, submit, and crush the Camellia Palace. Suddenly, Teo faces a massive bird-like monstrosity, its eyes glowing with a creepy blue light. Energy erupts around him, static, crackling in the air. His own eyes burn crimson, reflecting the hell inside. A sharp snap echoes through the air. Teo reaches out, gently tapping the creature's beak, trying to hijack a mind by using their own thirst for power against them. He grabs the entity by the collar grip like iron. "I don't think so. They call it a monster sword for a reason, you brat. How did I conquered that despair ages ago, you moron. You think your tiny scrap of power tempts me? I've got bigger missions to grind." "What are you talking about?" He notices the griffin looks way different than his memory. While the beast screams to be let go, it recalls being over 10 meters tall. Now, it's shrinking to match Teo's height. Is it because it was sealed too long? A fist clenches tight as a voice booms. "Look doesn't matter. Works for me." Crimson eyes flare as Teo declares, You belong to me now. The griffin is officially dubbed the Moonlight Sword. A voice pleads to talk it out like civilized people. Suddenly, a woman kneels beside a coffin crying out for her dear son. Please wake up, Queen Cecilia watches in total shock, questioning the meaning of this nightmare and why her son is in that state. A man in goggles claims he was commissioned to forge a blade but never asked to do this to him. A shot of a man smoking a pipe cuts in. The monster's energy is fused to his bloodstream. A motionless figure lies prone face hidden by a mask. They've never seen or heard anything like this. A close-up zooms in on a man's face, his expression dark and grim. He claims it's a conflict you can't hold two relics at once. Cecilia Ragnar's face twists with pure dread. Tears blur her vision. She convinced herself this would be a cakewalk, but now she's terrified her son is walking into a death trap. The elf woman rocking goggles lets out a feral growl. She's swearing a blood oath that forgiveness is off the table. Knuckles turn white as a hand clamps down on the haft of a massive, decked-out battle axe. Dressed in crimson, the woman plants herself between the danger and the fallen figure, a shield against the chaotic energy spiraling around them. Gravity takes over. A body freefalls engulfed in a raging torrent of blue mana. Confusion hangs thick in the air. What just happened? One lone silhouette stands tall inside that blue hurricane. He's dead center of the storm, wrapped in a violent vortex of pitch-black energy. Blue mana frames a man's face, whipping around him, highlighting his fierce gaze. Cut to Cecilia Ragnar crashing to her knees beside Theo. He's out cold. Panic writes itself all over her features. She leans in close voice, trembling barely above a whisper. Theo, can you hear me? She doesn't wait. Cecilia scoops him into a bone-crushing hug, desperation, screaming from her expression as she calls his name. Tears finally spill over as she pours out her fear. But then Theo stirs. He's chill, reassuring her, insisting he's totally fine and she needs to relax. Nearby, the elf lets out a massive sigh. Crisis averted. As the mother and son moment settles, a holographic system window pops up. Jackpot. Theo just secured ownership of the White Moonlight Sword. Internal monologue time, Theo replays the fight. He knows he barely scraped by. Pure luck. He realizes the griffin was nerfed easy pickings only because it had been sealed up so recently. Staring down the defeated beast, Theo thinks, yeah, mind games don't work on something this savage. Ding, another notification. Theo's mana stats are going crazy, skyrocketing after draining the monster energy straight from the blade. The notifications keep scrolling, showing a gain of 30 magic power points. But it doesn't stop there. His total magic power just shattered the 200 mark. A smirk plays on Theo's lips as his hand ignites with a blue aura. Next prompt confirms he's hit high-rank swordsman levels. Plus, he unlocked a new perk, the Divinity. It buffs his physical stats and boosts mana recovery by 1.5%. Still, he thinks kind of a bummer that he can't go full throttle yet. He's got to keep a low profile until the awakening ceremony drops. System says, congrats on shocking the elf and pulling this off. Ed Troyven steps up, checking if the deal is still on. The elf claps back instantly. Do I look like a scammer? Elves can't lie, genius. Theo eyes the blade confused. The thing is vibrating, acting all rebellious like it refuses to acknowledge him as the boss. Ed shakes his head. Nah, it's not rejection. That bad boy is just claustrophobic after being locked up for centuries. It finally tastes freedom and wants to scream. It needs to vent some serious rage. It's out in the wild and ready to blow. Ed points to the far side of the room, suggesting Theo. Smash that wall with everything he's got. Someone whispers, is that safe? Cecilia holds out a glowing orb, face unreadable as she warns him. Theo just scoffs, waving her off. Seriously, stop worrying about nothing. It's just the White Moonlight Sword. He glances at the grimy workshop background. Internal monologue kicks in. I can't trash this workshop, but the doubt is getting on his nerves. Theo's eyes narrow, a spark of mischief dancing in his gaze. Is that so? He steps forward, plotting. Since I can cloak my dragon heart on command, why not flex a little? Time to see what this legendary blade can actually do. Theo grips the hilt, flooding it with mana. Alright then, stand back. I'm about to get loud. Power surges. He swings the sword into position, the air around him literally sizzling with static. The blade ignites, bathing the room in ghostly blue light. Info box pops up. A monster sword. Possessed by a griffin, a relic of the primordial dragon. He winds up for the strike. Blue energy ramping up to critical levels. Cecilia and Ed watch, jaws dropping, caught between awe and terror. Whoa. They're stunned. Wait, hold on. Energy gathers at the blade's tip. A menacing low-frequency hum, vibrating the very air, as the weapon primes itself. The glow intensifies, compressing into a blinding flash of azure light that sears their retinas. Pure, concentrated power shatters the atmosphere around the blade, sounding like reality itself, cracking under the pressure. He swings. The blade becomes a blur, slicing the atmosphere with terrifying velocity. A sword beam rips open the heavens, trailing a neon blue afterglow as it screams toward an unseen target. The energy slams into a distant building, shock waves rippling through the structure before it collapses under the sheer impact. The floor beneath the workshop fractures and detonates the sword's pressure, radiating outward like a localized earthquake. Cecilia and Sibyl watch in stunned silence yaws on the floor at the raw, destructive potential of the white moonlight sword. They are speechless. Suddenly, a voice wails in panic. My studio. My studio. A surge of raw mana erupts, flooding the room with blinding light. In the distance, a figure screams, my money. A dark-haired woman with piercing crimson eyes looks concerned, muttering, okay, that might be a little too dangerous. A hand grips the hilt, a voice groaning, did it drain my entire mana reserve? A hand, decked out in rings, lingers, bathed in an ethereal blue glow. One figure stares at another, totally baffled, thinking, just how fast is she? A figure with pointed ears and a mischievous smirk watches the scene unfold. A voice comments with a hint of shade. Geez, do you seriously have 0 magic proficiency? A voice asks in disbelief. You really pulled that off with just physical sharpness. A close-up reveals a character's face expression unreadable. The woman's eyes go wide, shock flashing across her features. Is he a prodigy? The unseen speaker continues, voice booming with pride. And this genius, the voice rises, declaring with absolute certainty, is my grandson. The elf-eared woman grins, eyes twinkling with shrewd calculation. A ring-adorned hand clenches slightly. The text reads, Theo Ryan. The pointy-eared woman leans in, her expression intense. I'll be your sponsor. From now on, you just need to. The ringed hand stays clenched, the unseen speaker urging, spread your wings and flex your skills for the world. A close-up of a smiling mouth, the voice promising, you're going to become this workshop's walking billboard. Theo Ryan's eyes widen slightly, a glimmer of surprise in their depths. Mother. The elf-eared woman looks down, a trace of sorrow in her look. Mother. The woman stares back, eyes narrowing. I see dollar signs in your eyes. The woman's touch lingers on Theo Ryan's face. A carriage waits outside. A woman struts toward the ride. Elsewhere, a woman hefts a large clunky object. She says, please use this for the wall repair fund. Loot from a drake. He must have snagged it when he grabbed the relic. She thinks, that daughter of mine raised a total beast of a son. The demon craftsman says, long time no see. Demon craftsman. She stares purple, eyes half-lidded. A bird perched on a branch asks, humph. Why are you here? The demon craftsman stands tall, expression unreadable. The bird's eyes glow red in the shadows. 5 days later, it is the day of the awakening ceremony. Theo Ryan swings his blade down with a determined war cry. Sibyl blocks the strike effortlessly, her own blade singing through the air. They clash, steel flashing in the light. The clang of metal echoes across the training grounds. Sibyl brings her sword down in a swift arc. Theo grins, thinking, her swordsmanship got sharper and faster. He thinks, what a relief. To think the day would come when he'd praise me. The young master smiles, a predatory glint in his crimson eyes. The crowd gasps in unison. It has been half a year since Theo Ryan started changing, and he has already grown strong enough to push me back. Plus, if he awakens his magic power today. A wave of energy crackles in the air. The atmosphere shimmers with heat and pressure. Theo clashes with Sibyl, their movements a blur of steel and skill. Is this the birth of a monster? A voice whispers, you did a great job, Theo. They stand face-to-face, swords drawn ready for the next exchange. You could even aim to be the valedictorian of the awakening ceremony, young master. Evelyn and Sibyl declare, I'll be praying for your success. He smiles, expressing his thanks. Thanks, it is all because of you, Evelyn. The pink-haired character looks surprised. What? Why are you? Several figures cheer, one shouting, oh, me too, young master. Another voice yells, desperate for clout. Please mention my name too. A smaller bubble notes. Wow, being popular is tough. The pink-haired character and the dark-haired man exchange a look, a silent moment passing between them. The dark-haired man announces his exit. All right, I'm heading out now. The scene cuts to a grand view of the central headquarters. A meticulously designed garden stretches out before the HQ. Legs walk purposefully across the paved ground, passing 2 guards. A speech bubble declares. Theo Ragnar steps out, representing the Camellia Palace. He stands there, stone cold, giving absolutely nothing away. A low murmur ripples through the crowd. He tilts his head back, face completely blank. 2 spectators gasp, one practically clutching her pearls, gripping a fan like a lifeline. Footsteps boom down the hallway. Every single kid here is desperate to crush the awakening ceremony. For a Ragnar swordsman, this is the debut stage, the place to make a name. The camera pans out, revealing the skyline of Ragnar City, a concrete jungle of massive towers. A smirk tugs at Theo's lips, pure, unfiltered confidence. The whole squad is watching. Even the big boss, clanhead Kylie Ragnar, is lounging on a massive throne, eyes sharp like lasers, assessing everything. 2 veteran guards flank him, looking grim and ready for war. Are those the 9 dragons and the former boss, Yoda Ragnar? Ancient history literally chained up like a beast. Theo locks eyes with the old legend, And honestly, she doesn't look 150 years old. Seeing her back in the game, a total relief. Boom! A massive drum beat kickstarts the event. A guy with a serious mustache hollers, "Listen up, enter Van Ragnar, the judge from the Dragon Gate." "Let's get this prelim started," he announces. The view widens to show the main stage, the testing ground. Swords planted in the earth scarring the top of the steel wall. Up on the platform, two overseers watch like hawks. Van drops the info. Regular steel blades. Won't even dent this wall. But the game changes. Once you infuse magic into the strike, he holds up a vial. "This is Soma, the key to unlocking your mana halls. Down this elixir. Force open the Dantian. That's the only way to slice through. This snow-white steel. How deep you cut defines your rank. Starting now. If I call your name, grab a vial." First up, Theo Ragnar. Theo steps into the spotlight. In the previous timeline, Axion was the top dog. Not today. Theo grabs the vial from the armored guard. No sword yet. He strides toward the weapon rack. A system notification pops. Scenario quest number 3, dominate the awakening ceremony. Objective, take top honors. Up on the throne, a whisper that the kid Kylie, two heavy hitters watch from above. The one everyone's buzzing about. Must have made some noise to get noticed. Number 3, right, interest peaked. The woman leans forward. Let's see what he's got. They can't believe a descendant has this much aura. A single bead of sweat trickles down Theo's temple as he braces himself. The pressure is crushing. The massive hall goes dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. He admits it, he's nervous. Haven't felt stakes this high in ages. A command cuts the air. Theo snaps his head up. Drink the Soma. Flashback to the last life. He chugged it, lost control, and the mana went rogue, wrecking his Dantian instantly. He inhales sharp, cold air filling his lungs. Not this time. His eyes lock in. Pure steel determination. The atmosphere is electric. Theo lifts the vial, hands trembling not fear, but anticipation. One last look at the judge. A silent nod. Game time. Down the hatch. Boom. Liquid fire floods his veins. In the crowd, a rival's face twists, burning with pure jealousy. The mana surge is massive. It's practically suffocating. Someone whispers, he can't handle that much power. A disembodied voice echoes a warning. Careful. That stuff is volatile. You gotta let the mana hall settle in the core. Someone else chimes in. Only the top-tier Ragnars have mana this dense. Theo is drowning in the energy. The warning comes again. Screw this up and he's crippled for life. A stern elder watches unblinking. He's done for, a voice sneers. The energy spikes, threatening to explode. Theo fights back, body rigid, wrestling the storm inside. The elder's face shifts. To total shock. Did he just absorb it? A smirk forms. Theo opens his eyes. Dragonheart plus a mana hall overpowered. It's almost unfair. Compared to the last timeline, too easy. It's official. Theo Ragnar is back in business. I'm tapping into the overflow. Theo strides forward, an aura of pure mana, violently spiraling around him. Blade raised. Locked in. His face turns into a mask of cold resolve as the very air begins to sizzle with static. Theo claims he's just letting it all flood out. Suddenly, a blinding torrent of raw mana swallows him whole. 3 armored knights brace themselves, their faces twisted somewhere between hype and total dread. A colossal dragon-esque specter manifests from the ether, its silhouette snapping and popping with untamed energy, the surge spikes swelling into a blinding tsunami of power. It screams a deafening symphony of arcane dominance. Flash, a single burst shears through the darkness, blinding the gallery. Theo watches eyes, narrowing with a mix of grit and anxiety. Arms crossed, a mysterious observer takes it all in. Crack. The stone floor fractures under the sheer pressure of the moment. The fissures split wide open, unveiling the terrain ahead. You can literally feel the air vibrating with anticipation. An endless graveyard of swords stretches out before him, silent monuments to the struggles of the past. A booming voice shatters the silence. Theo Ragnar. Past. He marches forward, laser-focused on the invisible finish line. Unbelievable, the observers mutter. That slash unleashed mana levels we haven't seen since the days of Torkel. The jinx haunting Theo is officially dead. As his legend starts going viral across the realm, Theo's eyes go wide. A soft, disbelief-filled chuckle escapes his lips. The game has finally changed. It took everything, but he's finally standing at the true starting line, just like the rest of them. And suddenly everyone wants a piece of this breakout performance. Osa Ragnar Plunus is already eyeing him for an apprenticeship. Meanwhile, Julius Ragnar looks salty about all the hype. With the spotlight fixed on Theo, Ray Ragnar stays guarded. But Hilda Ragnar, she's definitely intrigued. Cecilia Ragnar shoots a smirk, clearly enjoying the chaos. The Lady of the Rose Palace settles into her seat with lethal grace, radiating pure confidence. Footsteps echo from the shadows. A narrator muses the Black Dragon and Sword Dragon were wild cards. Hilda Ragnar stands amidst the elite. The voice continues, but grabbing Hilda's attention, that's the real game changer. Makes me especially happy. A towering figure rises. After all, she holds the heart of Garuda. Shadows mask his face. Internal monologue running wild. If I could just get my hands on that. His gaze burns with intensity. Locked onto an invisible prize. Snap energy crackles, power unleashed. Sylvia drops into a combat stance. Rock steady. Sylvia's face is a portrait of sheer will. Nearby, a man cracks a grin. I made the cut too, young Master Theo. Ray Ragnar stands in the eye of an energy storm primed to strike. Crimson energy detonates around Kuzlan as he coils for an attack. Remington Narcio steps up, blade gleaming in the harsh light. A blur of blue energy blitzes past at god-tier speed. The aftermath of the strike leaves the ground frozen solid. Shattered shards scatter everywhere. A man with slicked-back white hair speaks up. The 4 dogs of the north all posted numbers. Monstrous results. He pauses. But none of them left a crater quite like the young master. An empty, cavernous hall stretches into the dark. A voice thunders. Now, the final contender is. Figures stand at attention, clad in obsidian leg armor. A dark-haired man with a stoic expression stands his ground like a statue. Someone bellows Axion, Ragnar front and center. He stands ready, sword gripped for war. He weighs the odds. At this rate, it's a showdown. The lustrous tiger versus the black tiger. The dark-haired man realizes the truth. Even Axion can't pull that off. He thinks to himself, the lustrous tiger is in a league of his own. Theo draws steel the blade, catching a glint of light as he squares up against his foe. With a battle cry, Theo swings, painting a bloody arc through the air. A voice screams out, wait. Too late. The blade bites into flesh, triggering a crimson explosion. A red monstrosity erupts from the impact. It pulses with raw, ugly power. The beast's jaws unhinge, exposing rows of jagged nightmare teeth. Claws screech against the stone floor. The air thickens with static as the beast coils to strike. It lunges at breakneck speed. Behind it, a red, crystalline structure throbs with unseen energy. The man with the perfectly groomed mustache murmurs, well now, I've been caught off guard more than once today. The crystal formation flares up, razor-sharp edges gleaming. A deep, resonant thrum vibrates from its core. The structure towers over them, the name Axion branded across its surface. One man gasps, how is that even possible? They're practically identical. A disembodied voice cuts in. In this dead heat, precision ranking decides the victor. The young master stands absolute amidst the snow-dusted ruins, his blade gleaming in the pale light. He exhales slowly, breath turning to white mist in the cold. The arena is colossal, dwarfing the tiny figures below. The man with the mustache steps up. That officially wraps up Phase 1 of the Awakening ceremony. Killer work, everyone. Someone's clearly hyped, noticing the massive spike in the scores this year. Then the announcement drops. Survivors get ready to face Stage 2 of the ceremony in exactly 4 days. And now the moment of truth. The rankings are finally about to drop. Look at the tension on those faces. A cascade of light floods the scene, shifting the whole vibe. The MVP of Stage 1 is. The screen splits between 2 candidates, poker faces locked in. Close up on the ceremonial drip, you know the stakes just went up. The voice booms through the hall. The top ranker of the Awakening ceremony is. The Academy towers rise up, piercing the heavens. Profiles set eyes intense. A sword flashes. The crowd goes absolutely feral as the name Tio. Raynar hits the airwaves. A tidal wave of cheers erupts. Mustache Man says, you pulled a perfect score. 10 out of 10, he keeps gushing. Literal perfection, technique, magic, power, control, S tier.